huge win for Syracuse.
Back in Clemson history, as the Tigers feel more comfortable driving than flying. Clemson, ranked 11th in the nation, features running back Terry Allen, who gained 145 yards last week against Virginia. Clemson is known as Death Valley, and maybe this rock from Death Valley, California, does provide some magical powers. At least Danny Ford and his players feel that way as they touch the rock before every game. We welcome you to Clemson, South Carolina, better known as Death Valley, on Saturdays during the college football season. Clemson Memorial Stadium, where in an ACC matchup today, the Blue Devils of Duke take on the 11th-ranked Tigers of Clemson. Hi, everybody. Along with Lee Corso, I'm Roger Twibell. It is homecoming Saturday here at Clemson, and since 1971, Clemson has gone 16-0-1 on these homecomings. The tie to Duke University, but Lee Corso, it tells you somebody knows something about scheduling here at Clemson.
Yeah, I know something about homecoming. The only thing that was bad is every time I went on the road, they made it to a homecoming game. Let me tell you, I opened the season with a guy one time, and he made it his homecoming season.
The first game of the year?
Yeah, that was really bad.
Unbelievable. Clemson, of course, off to a 4-1 start. Tough loss to Florida State, but I know their coaching staff is not happy with the way they've played so far.
No, Danny Ford's a tremendous football coach. He's probably one of the best young coaches in America. He's got an outstanding record. He loves it here at Clemson, but he knows the key to this ball game is to pressure the quarterback. He must get close to the Duke quarterback. If he doesn't sack him, he's got to scare him. He's got to get back to Clemson toughness. They got to out-physical Duke, there's no question. And last but not least, they got to play with great emotion. They have not played with emotion like Clemson is used to since that play against Florida State. They've got to get it back.
Duke, of course, is known as a basketball school, not a football school. I've got a guy with me that coached football at some of the best basketball schools ever.
You're right. I coached 14 years as a head football coach at Louisville in Indiana, but I was the football coach. That shows you how crazy I am.
Well, Spurrier's really done a great job turning things around in their football program.
Steve Spurrier is one of the finest offensive minds in college football. He's got a great record. He's a former Heisman Trophy winner. He knows exactly how to coach the passing game. He's an outstanding football coach. What he needs to do to win this ball game is obvious. He's got to throw the ball. He uses his imagination. But before he can use his imagination, he's got to get pass protection by the line. That's a key. Next, on defense, they've got to stop the option. But they've got to be careful that early in the game, Clemson doesn't fake an option and throw it long for a touchdown. That's very, very possible.
Clemson has dominated the Atlantic Coast Conference in the 1980s, but maybe this year, Lee, parity is coming to the ACC?
Yes, it's because the number of scholarships. Clemson cannot keep all the players in their own school. There's more football players in this area, and they're going all over the country. That's why there's parity in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
And we've got a great crowd here today in Clemson, South Carolina. Better than 80,000. The winner of today's game will sit alone atop the Atlantic Coast Conference. Orange is all you see throughout this part of South Carolina on Saturday. And as you drive in to the stadium, the Tiger Paws on the highway. They love their football in this part of Carolina. And right now, the Clemson Tiger Band. 278 members in all. And right now, the Blue Devils of Duke will take the field. And for Duke, of course, their best start since 1957. Going back to last year, they have now won 6 games in a row. They're looking for their 7th consecutive victory. And, of course, this would be the biggest victory in many, many years for the Blue Devils. And the Tiger fans getting ready here against Florida State, a record crowd of better than 84,000. And that Tiger marching band, and yeah, their favorite song, not Hold That Tiger, Go That Tiger. And the Clemson players now touching the rock. Three busloads of Clemson players delivered to the top of the stadium. 140 players suited up for the Tigers as the Clemson Tigers enter the field. A 4-1 record, the only loss to Florida State, ranked 11th nationally. ESPN's presentation of CFA football is being brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By new Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette, antiperspirant and deodorant. Anything less would be uncivilized. And by Wagner halogen headlights, the only headlights with a lifetime warranty. Duke and Clemson coming up next from Death Valley.
We're not a company.
But we'll give you a chance to work where there's always a challenge.
We'll give you opportunities to learn, to develop.
To perfect skills that you thought were beyond your reach.
We'll help you build a career that can reward you for the rest of your life.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Army.
The Navy.
The Air Force.
The Marines.
We're the Armed Forces.
It's a great place to start.
If you're planning to move, you could unpack some great savings. Because now when you move yourself with Ryder, we'll enroll you in one of the country's biggest discount shopping services, absolutely free. Which means you can buy almost anything for your new home at some of the best prices around. So after you unpack, you can unwind with some great savings. Ryder, we're there at every turn.
Okay, love, you all right? Got a bit of heat stroke?
Я не американка.
Oh, you're a glass nose, eh?
Да.
Oh, you want a guide or something?
Я хочу американский большой.
Well, how about we get something to eat first, eh?
Борщ?
Gesundheit.
Okay.
Live in Britannia.
Odious, contemptible. I'm speaking of offending in the personal grooming arena. When seeking maximum protection and a fresh new scent, one should grab new Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette. Antiperspirant and deodorant. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Choose from the full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store.
First meeting between these two teams in 1934. Clemson leads the series 19-12-1. They've won 7 consecutive since 1980. And the last meeting a year ago, Clemson a 17-10 winner. And it's interesting to note, Lee, last year Duke 5-6 under Steve Spurrier. 5 of those 6 losses by a touchdown or less, including this one. This will be the 3rd consecutive year they played here at Clemson.
And the reason, obviously, the second year, it was supposed to be a Duke's game, but they bought Duke out. In other words, they paid him more money to play over here than they would to play at Durham.
Steve Spurrier won the Heisman Trophy in '66 at Florida. Anthony Dillweg, his quarterback number 8, was standing right next to him.
I coached 2 years against him at the Tampa Bandits. He's an outstanding football coach.
Rusty Seidel to kick it off for Clemson. And Randy Jones, Quentin McCracken back deep, and that's McCracken. He's up to the 17-yard line and stuffed pretty good right there. A penalty marker is down, though. A penalty marker down at the 25-yard line as Duke and their 5th-year senior quarterback, Anthony Dillweg, will get set to take the field, and holding is the call against the Blue Devils. Dillweg 2nd in the nation in total offense, 7th in passing efficiency. And folks, he had 1 start a year ago, and that was against Clemson right here in Death Valley. He threw for over 300 yards in that game, but no touchdowns and 3 interceptions. This is how it sets up offensively. Dillweg, Boone, Rimashevsky, Jones, and Hines. Those are the skill people. Fort, McNary, Metz, Talakro, Natowski, Kalanas, the tight end. 1st and 10 for Duke. The ball at the 9-yard line. Rimashevsky, the lone setback. Boone was a man in motion. And the first pass of the game. And that's Jones as he's up to the 18-yard line. Walter Jones, 26 a freshman from Roanoke Rapids. The Clemson defensive front, Vance Hammond, Mark Dragg, and Richard McCullough. The linebackers, Levon Kirkland. Jesse Hatcher's the bandit. Watch him. Brewster, who had 16 tackles a week ago, and Ed McDaniel. In the secondary for the Tigers, Donnell Wolford, he's an All-American. Dexter Davis, Gene Beasley, and James Lott. Keep an eye on Davis, number 9. He's a youngster making his first start. The ball at the 18, 2nd and 1. The second man through, and not getting much is Roger Boone. Maybe a loss of a yard on the play. 92 Brewster was the man right there. 44 tackles coming into this particular game. 6'1", 195, a sophomore from Athens, Georgia.
He's very strong at taking on the blocker on number 1. And watch, he comes to the inside and makes a good play. One of the problems you have when you're a great passing team like Duke is when you have short yardage, it's very difficult for you to run for the first down.
The chains have been brought out, and you can see just how much left Duke has on 3rd down. They have been a very proficient 3rd down team so far this year, Lee.
Well, it's 3rd down and inches. In this situation, you probably will go with the quarterback sneak because it's the safest play and will not give him a chance for a loss.
They have converted on 55% of their first downs this year. They've not scored on their first possession of the season. That's significant because they've done damage on their second possession. 3rd and short. Dilweg to sneak it. And it's going to be very close. Mark Dragg, 6'4", 255, a senior from Charlotte. The middle guard, number 85, and probably the best of the defensive front for Clemson, as Dilweg, who is 6 feet 4 inches tall, is able to stretch and get that first down.
The reason why you go with a quarterback sneaking this way, there's no chance of an error. That was a wedge block, which means everybody comes to the middle. Great block by Tylakbo, who came in and knocked this nose man down.
Clarkston Hines comes to the near side on 1st and 10 from the 20. In motion, Colonna, the tight end. Penalty markers down. That's Colonna who drops the football. Colonna had it at the 35. Gene Beasley, a senior from Atlanta, was right there. But a penalty marker is down, and number 20 left the football down there. And the penalty against Duke, and Duke has had a problem with penalties this year.
That time, number 81, Colonna, went in motion. As he went in motion, he moved towards the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped, and that's why it was illegal procedure. 5-yard penalty. So
Duke with a penalty on the opening kickoff.
On 2nd down.
And the penalty was declined, so that'll make it 2nd down and 10. Dilweg, he's from Bethesda, Maryland. He started one game last year. That's the Clemson game. Had a start in '85 against Ohio University. 5th-year senior. He has thrown for over 300 yards in every game he's ever started. Going down the side, and he's got his man, Randy Cuthbert, and they say he was out of bounds. So Cuthbert, a freshman from Chalfont, Pennsylvania, made the reception, but they said he was out of bounds when he made the catch, so that will bring up a 3rd down.
Nice play this time by Dilweg. As you see, he lays the ball up there. Cuthbert has to have 1 foot in there, but obviously from that angle, the referee did not think he did. But from our angle, it might have been good.
Clarkston Hines comes to the near side. 3rd down and 10. A lot of pressure. Dilweg gets rid of it. Penalty marker is down. A penalty marker is down. 44, Levon Kirkland from the outside linebacker spot was the man busting through that time.
Defense outside.
The defense is drawn offside that time by the voice of Dilweg. If you'll notice his head, as his head pops there, what he does is he says go, and then he puts a lot more sound to the second go, and it draws the Clemson men off balance. But number 41, Kirkland, at least hit Dilweg, and that's important.
Steve Spurrier with another chance down on 3rd and 5. They have converted 55% of their 3rd down plays this year. The average has been 7.5 yards on those 3rd down plays. So this is less than the average. This is 3rd and 5. And the blitz coming. Boy, nice move right there. Roger Boone. And he is up to the 40-yard line. Levon Kirkland was a man that brought him down, but Jesse Hatcher came busting through, and what a nice touch Dilweg showed us there.
This is a hot screen, which means at 55 blitzes, they're going to dump the ball off to number 27, Boone. Absolutely perfect. That play is designed for a linebacker like Hatcher to rush and then dump it off like a little sweep play to number 27, Boone. Great call, excellent execution.
14 yards on the reception as Walter Jones goes in motion to the far side on 1st and 10. Dilweg throws it up the middle. The intended receiver was Boone again, who, by the way, is the 9th leading receiver in the nation. Clarkston Hines, the 8th leading receiver. They really utilized their backs very well in the Duke offense.
Boone, number 27, goes and hooks up. Now, as he's going to hook up, watch him right there. They hit him just simultaneous. It is not pass interference if the ball is uncatchable and if the man on defense, that time the Clemson linebacker, was trying to intercept the football.
Boone is the lone setback now as Ewell, number 2, is checked into the game. He split to the top of the screen. 2nd and 10. Dilweg has got his man, and that is Clarkston Hines at the 44-yard line. Lee, they have a lot of players who catch a lot of footballs. They go to a lot of short stuff. They're not so concerned with the deep things all the time because they look at their passing as like a running offense almost.
And number 12 is not big. He's 6 foot, 170. One of the theories that you use against a team like Duke is let them catch those short ones and then punish those receivers and make them drop the ball the next time.
Well, Ed McDaniel punished Hines that time on 3rd and 4, and there's some confusion in the Duke backfield, and Dilweg wisely calls a timeout with 12:07 to go. First quarter, no score here in Death Valley as Duke at 5-0 and Clemson at 4-1, and this for first place in the ACC.
As you notice on the sideline, Dilweg went over to talk to Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier serves as his offensive coordinator himself. He doesn't feel anybody knows the passing game as well, and I have a tendency to agree to him.
Duke all-time best starts. Well, 88's been a great one. 57 was the last time they got off to such a good start, and then 52, and you can see in the 30s and in early 1940s, they had a 9-0 record. They won their last game from a year ago. So they've won 6 consecutive games. This would be their 7th consecutive game. As you take a look at Spurrier, his 2nd year, and his quarterback. Last year, they led the ACC in scoring, passing, total offense. They were last defensively, though.
And you win championships on defense in the kicking game, but you sell tickets and you get yourself a team like Duke who doesn't have great personnel, and you're making close with everybody with a great mind like Spurrier and good execution by Dilweg.
Spurrier's got a great mind, and he's got a lot of nice minds to teach his football to at Duke. Great academic institution. As throughout the years, they continually are at the top of the NCAA as far as graduating the number of seniors. 3rd down and 4. Dilweg. And just heaves it downfield, and it's incomplete. And Lee, that looked like a mix-up. There's a penalty marker down. Boy, there seemed to be a lot of confusion by Duke that time.
As we look at number 12, Hines, he's trying to get across in the middle, but now once the quarterback...
Defensive pass interference, automatic first down.
Once the quarterback gets across, there's number 20, Wolford, who's playing man-for-man on number Hines, number 12. Once the quarterback got out of the pocket, you notice what happened. Hines raised his hand, and the quarterback threw the ball to him. Well, coach team. Danny Ford is very upset because it happened right in front of him.
Wolford, the guy covering Hines, last year allowed just 7 pass receptions in this area and none in the first 6 games. So first down in Clemson territory at the 47-yard line, and a rare running play as Boone tries to get it outside and he can't do it. Good job by the Clemson defense. Gene Beasley, 27, was the man over there to bring Boone down. He's really a tremendous all-purpose back, as so far this year he's rushed for over 400 yards and caught passes for over 200 yards. That Boone, that Beasley right there, a 5'11", 210-pound senior. 2nd down and 10. Dillard checking off at the line of scrimmage now. I'll tell you, the receivers are having a tough time with this big crowd here, hearing his checkoff. He's throwing it deep. And nearly caught Walter Jones, the intended receiver, and back on the coverage was James Lott. Let's go to Tim Brando. Tim?
All right, Roger, that big game in Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish in some trouble defensively as Steve Walsh finds his secondary receiver, Cleveland Gary, for the touchdown to tie the game at 21 just prior to halftime. USC is now leading Washington 7-0, and second-ranked UCLA leads Cal 3-0. Let's get back to Roger at Clemson.
Okay, thank you, Tim. 3rd down and 10 now. Just over 11 minutes left to go, first quarter. Ball at the 47-yard line of Clemson. 4 wide receivers for Duke. Hines had it on his hands, enough for the first down, and couldn't hold on to it.
One of the things I told you about is they try to intimidate those little receivers. Hines, number 12, will run a drag route. Spurrier's upset because Hines should have caught this. But remember the big hit on Hines? Watch him take his eye off the football right here. He's looking the other way. He's looking right at the defensive lineman right there for Clemson.
Dillwig also does the punting, and they came hard that time. And they'll let it bounce at the 15-yard line. So Dillwig, who averages over 40 yards a punt, Stuart Albright down to 33 yards on that punt. We've got a timeout in the field. No score, first quarter from Clemson.
For lunch, the Porsche 944 Turbo generally prefers Ferraris, although it has been known occasionally to snack on Corvettes.
If you want power and endurance that go the distance, get the heat pump that outruns the rest. The Heil 510. It's the tough one, with the guts to run on and on for years. Get the heat pump you can depend on summer after summer, winter after winter. The Heil 510 heat pump, born to run.
When the class bell rings, your child becomes my child, too. So I'm going to do everything I can to help that kid succeed. But I can't do it all. Kids grow up so fast. We just get one chance to give them what they need. So what we give has to be the best. The best help you can give at home has always been Encyclopedia Britannica. It gets kids started on a lasting love of learning, and that makes a big difference in school and in their lives. This booklet will tell you more, and it's free. To get it, just call this toll-free number. Then, when you preview Britannica in your home, you also get this 3-volume desk reference set free. There's no obligation. Look, if we want terrific things to happen for your child, we've got to work together. But right now, all you have to do is make one toll-free call. Oh, there's the bell. Well, I've got a class to teach, and you've got a call to make.
For your free booklet and details on how to receive your desk reference set, call 1-800-554-9000 now.
Today's game is being brought to you by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. By Heil Heating and Cooling. Depend on Heil. They're born to run. And by your authorized Porsche dealer. Roger Tribal, Lee Corso here with you at Clemson as the Tigers will have it, and watch for a pass on the first play. Deflected at the line of scrimmage. And Lee, we talked with the coaching staff yesterday, and we just kind of had a feeling they might try to put it up early.
The reason they're throwing the ball early is to get that Duke secondary from coming up so they can run the ball on the option play, because to stop the option play, you need secondary support.
And one of the other things is you take a look at their quarterback, Rodney Williams. Whenever he can get off the mark early with his passing game, when he can complete his first 1 or 2 passes, that usually means he's going to have a good day passing. If he doesn't complete his first 1 or 2, then he's going to struggle for most of the day. 2nd and 10 now for Clemson. 21's Terry Allen, shifts back into the eye, and he's got the leading rusher, and he is stuck behind the line of scrimmage. Wow, what a good tackle by Erwin Sampson, the free safety, the leading tackler for the Duke Blue Devils. And let's check out now the lineup for Clemson. We'll do that in just a moment. But it's 3rd and 10 now.
I just mentioned the fact that you try to throw the ball long, so guys like 25 Sampson, the defensive secondary, aren't up making those tackles right on the line of scrimmage.
And that's exactly what Sampson did. 3 wide receivers now for Clemson. Keith Jennings split to the near side. In motion is Gary Cooper. And Allen gets maybe a yard or two. A lot of second effort and possibly 3 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down situation for the Clemson Tigers. And that will bring in Chris Gardocki, a freshman out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. He handles the punting. He also handles the majority of the place kicking, everything but the extra points. And he'll be going back just about his 5-yard line. And back deep for the Blue Devils of Duke would be number 22, Wyatt Smith. And Duke should come up with some pretty good field possession off this punt. Fair catch being called and hauled in at the 36-yard line. 44 yards on the punt. Timeout on the field, and Duke will have good field position when we return to Clemson.
What is that, sir? That, Charles, is my new Porsche 928 S4. Shall I have the chauffeur put it in the garage? Fire the chauffeur.
If you want power and endurance that go the distance, get the heat pump that outruns the rest. The Heil 510. It's the tough one with the guts to run on and on for years. Get the heat pump you can depend on summer after summer, winter after winter. The Heil 510 heat pump. Born to run.
Mr. Smith, the proposal. Better fax it.
In Facsimile Communications, one name stands out for a new level of performance and reliability. And now the highest image quality available. Canon knows that for every kind of business, it's not just how fast you get there, but how well you're received.
Smith's proposal looks great.
Where is Smith?
Canon Fax, communicating quality. For information, call toll-free 1-800-OK-CANON.
Announcing the Holiday Inn Make the Super Call game. Come to Holiday Inn, get a game card. Now, Super Bowl 18. 4 minutes to go. Raiders face a 4th and goal. You call it. Scratch off the right play, and you win. Thousands of prizes. Even a trip to the Super Bowl. Everybody's getting into it.
Only at America's favorite hotel. For reservations, make the Super Call.
9:14 to go, first quarter. Beautiful October afternoon here in Clemson, South Carolina. And Duke has it 1st and 10 now at the 36-yard line. As they split, number 26, Walter Jones to the far side. Clarkston Hines will join him out there. Dilweg. Clarkston Hines, penalty markers down as Hines gets across the 40 to the 43-yard line, where Dexter Davis, the freshman cornerback from Sumter, South Carolina, made the tackle. And the officials now talking it over. So after all that conferring, they decide to disregard the flag.
That was a nice little quick screen to number 12, Hines. Man will go out in motion, but he's standing right there to get a nice little screen. Number 35, Rimashevsky gets a good block, and they all converge on. Nice little theory of throwing quick screens to your little outside receivers.
Blue Devils have scored on their 2nd possession of every game this year. Let's see if it holds true as Rimashevsky lines up in the slot to the far sideline. 2nd and 3. Wanted to swing it out. Can't do it, and Dilweg They're going to call it an attempted pass at the 27-yard line. Levon Kirkland, 44, and Gene Beasley, 27, the two men back there.
44, Kirkland put the pressure on him from the outside. The reason why that wasn't a fumble was the arm of the quarterback was going forward, and anytime it goes forward, it's an incomplete pass. This is going to be a screen to your right. If you watch Dilwig to the right, he's trying to throw a screen pass. He does not see 44 coming from his blind side, and see him? He put his arm forward, and that's why it wasn't a fumble.
Oh, they don't like it here at Clemson. 3rd down and 3. Jones split to the near side, and some movement, and this is the problem here at Death Valley. With 80,000 plus on hand, they make a lot of noise, and if you're a passing team, it's tough to check off at the line of scrimmage, and it's tough to hear the signals being called by the quarterback. And look at this great crowd, a sea of orange. They talk about Nebraska's sea of red. This can go right head-to-head with it.
One of the things the quarterback might do, and I'm sure Spurrier will tell him, is to go on a quick count. Therefore, you don't get the sound of the crowd in it that much.
3rd down and 8. Kelowna is split out to the far side. Dilweg going up top. And great defensive play back there. Dexter Davis, the freshman, and a penalty marker is down at the 20. Davis, the freshman, covering Walter Jones. And this was a last-minute start for Dexter Davis. He was not supposed to get the nod. And it's against Duke.
Okay, it's offensive pass interference, which means it's a 15-yard penalty and a loss of down. Watch it to the left, right-hand part of your picture. Number 9, Davis is running stride by stride, but Davis gets good position and knocks the ball out of his hands. Number 26 really does a good job of putting his hand up. Dilweg gets hit. Remember, if you don't sack him, at least scare him.
And Dilweg took some punishment after the play. And now he has to stand at his 9-yard line to punt it. And back deep, Donnell Wolford. Good punt there as Wolford goes back to his 32-yard line. Wolford to the 49 of Duke. Number 48, or Scott DeLuca, 49, makes the tackle, 44 yards in the punt, 26 on the return by Donnell Wolford. We've seen another great defensive back punt returner this year in Deion Sanders. This guy looks great, too.
He must have been watching the film. He makes a good play here. He's a first-team All-American football player from Fayetteville, North Carolina. He gets good blocking down the line. Dilweg made the bad mistake that time of out-kicking his coverage. He kicked it so far that Wolford got a chance to go all the way.
Williams, a quarterback. Allen and Johnson, the running backs. Jennings and Davis are the wideouts. On 1st and 10, call it the 48-yard line. Right up the gut. And that's Tracy Johnson, number 42, the senior from Kannapolis, North Carolina. He gets about 3. Jeff Patton made the tackle. Up front, Frank DeUlias, Jeb Fless, Jeff Back, Eric Harmon, Jeff Nunemacher, and James Coley, the tight end for Clemson. Gain of 5 now on that play, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 5 as 87 Keith Jennings will split to the near side. Williams, yes indeed, the winningest starting quarterback in Clemson history. Allen with it. Allen. He's to the 40 and leans forward to the 39-yard line. Wayne Charles and Rodney Dickerson made the stop. Patton, Anthony Allen, Preston Anderson, Brian Bernard up front for Duke in the 4-3. The linebackers look like this. John Howell, Jim Worthington, and John McDonald. And in the secondary for Duke, Rodney Dickerson, Wyatt Smith, Wayne Charles, and Erwin Sampson. Keep an eye on 2 guys, Anthony Allen, 89, who's a real sticker, and Erwin Sampson, 25, for Duke defensively on 3rd down and 1.
Usually like the right tackle here.
They go outside to Allen. He's got more than enough. He's knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Erwin Sampson was the man that made the stop.
Great call against the computer. 80% of the time they're going to the right tackle with the fullback 42. They come down with the option. Watch. They will fake 42. That's the computer play. Now they pitch it out to 21 Allen. Excellent call. Terrific execution. The thing that made that play go was that Duke was well coached and went for the original fake.
Terry Allen, in his second year, averaging nearly 5.5 yards a carry through his 2 years here. And Duke wanting to bring some people. We'll give it to Tracy Johnson right up the middle. Did get a couple. Anthony Allen, 89, from Old Fort, North Carolina, 6'5", 260-pound junior. We were talking to Rick Johnson, defensive coordinator, and he says there's not a guy on the Duke team that wouldn't walk down a dark alley with this guy.
He's a former tight end, so you know he's a fine all-around athlete, but they moved him to defense because he is a fine leader.
Second down and 7. Clock running, 6:30 left to go. First quarter from Clemson, South Carolina. Tracy Johnson is the lone running back. And some movement on the right side, but a timeout called by Rodney Williams, and no flag there. So timeout on the field with 6:20 to go. First quarter and 4.
What can you expect when you invest at Schwab? Ask a Schwab customer.
My experience is Schwab people are professional and helpful. But what's most important is they're not out to sell you something you don't want or need.
When I want to buy a particular stock and the market's closed, I simply pick up the phone and call Schwab. And yes, they're there, 24 hours a day.
A few years back, I found I had some money to invest. I'd had some prior experience with a full commission broker, but now I'd learned enough to make my own investing decisions. It's easy to do business at Schwab. They're efficient, accurate, and very courteous.
For a free booklet, What a Discount Broker Can Do for You, call toll-free 800-247-3500. That's 800-247-3500. Call Schwab now.
At Porsche, we don't let you buy a car unless we've test-driven it first.
See your local authorized Porsche dealer.
ESPN is your ringside seat when up-and-coming contender Ronnie Essett battles for the North American middleweight title against Sanderline Williams. Budweiser presents Top Rank Boxing Tuesday night at 9 Eastern live on ESPN.
Roger Schwab and Lee Corso back with you in Clemson, South Carolina. Maybe not a bad day for a balloon ride, Lee. Rodney Williams brings the Tigers up on second down and 7. 3 wideouts this time. But they give it to Johnson right up the middle, and he's down to the 20, possibly the 19-yard line. And let's go to Tim Brando. Tim.
All right, Roger, thank you. Let's take you out to the Pac-10 now, where Southern Cal taking on Washington. And Leroy Holt, how many times have we seen this? Plunges in from a yard out. That gave USC the lead 7-0. They're driving again, and it's 10-3 now. Cal trailing UCLA. Let's get back to Roger Twibble and Lee Corso in Death Valley.
Thank you, Tim. You can see the clock. Less than 6 minutes now. First quarter. 1st and 10 from just inside the 20. And Terry Allen cuts it up inside. Allen inside the 10, down to the 6. Terry Allen down to the 6-yard line. Call it 14 yards in the pickup. Wyatt Smith and Erwin Sampson in on the tackle.
Unbalanced line. Watch number 42, Johnson. He's a great blocker. He'll knock down the contained man. Number 29 there, Howell, and there goes Allen. When the secondary people are making the tackles on the toss play, you're in real big trouble.
Sampson leads Duke in tackling. He's the free safety. And it's 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. They give it to Johnson. Inside the 5. Johnson down to the 1-yard line. Tracy Johnson, a 6', 230-pound senior, runs low to the ground.
And he's tough. At 3rd and 1, 2nd and 1, short yardage. They like Johnson, number 42, right behind Nunemacher, number 78. That's exactly where they went. Watch 78. He comes down, makes a good block. 76 Harmon pulls and traps, and they like that 42. They will go over the right guard with number 42 here for the touchdown.
They bring in 40, Henry Carter to block Johnson. And Duke stopped him. Duke's defense able to come up and make the stop. Preston Anderson, 90. Brian Bernard, 93. And John McDonald over there on the tackle.
I'll show you how stubborn Clemson will. They'll either run a quarterback sneak or they'll run exactly the same play. Johnson over Nunemacher to the right side because that's what they do best. Right there's 42 Johnson. He didn't quite make it, but they'll go to the same play.
3rd and goal from the 1. They give it to Johnson again. Touchdown, Clemson. Fourth touchdown of the year for Tracy Johnson. And Clemson gets on the scoreboard first.
From the ground level, watch the offensive line explosion. Excellent offensive line explosion. That's why they got it in there. The guy runs low. This is Clemson's game. Button up your chin strap, roll up your sleeves, and let's find out who's a better man, you or us.
No finesse about that Clemson team.
No way. And the more finesse, the worse they get.
Rusty Sile, the senior, a straight-on kicker for the point after, and it's good. So Sile handles the extra points, and he handles them awfully well. As he's made now 13 out of 15 so far this year. And with 4:16 left to go first quarter, Clemson leads Duke 7-0. So the first time Clemson had the ball, 3 plays and a punt, and see it. Let's take a look at the play selection by both Duke and Clemson in their games against Virginia. Both wins. Duke, 38 rushes, 47 passes. Clemson, 61 rushes and 8 passes.
That's Clemson football. That's the kind of football players they recruit here. When you get away from doing the things that you do best, you get in big trouble.
Here's what they've done today. Duke, 3 rushes, 11 passes. Clemson, 11 rushes, 1 pass. That was the first play of the game.
And that was just for the alumni for homecoming.
Well, you got to keep them happy, don't you, Lee?
That's right. You know, in coaching, you win 3 games. You win the first one, homecoming, and the last one, and you can usually stay.
Or in Clemson's case, you beat South Carolina or something like that, right? Rusty Sile to kick it off. And the freshman, Quentin McCracken at the 2-yard line. He's got a hole. McCracken, good job of running across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And the man, Jerome Henderson, making the tackle. Let's go to Tim Brando. Tim?
Roger, the second-ranked Bruins of UCLA got off to a flying start with who else? The front-runner for the Heisman Trophy, Troy Aikman. Here to Paul Richardson, all alone, a busted coverage there, 52 yards. Now the score is 10-3 Bruins over UCLA. Back to Death Valley and Roger.
Thank you very much, Tim. Duke has it down. 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. They hand it up inside. Roger Boone gets maybe 2, and a fine job defensively there. 92 was the man that came up, Doug Brewster, to make the tackle. How about one more glance at that touchdown?
Watch number 40 leading the hole in there. That's a good block by him, but the key block in that play was number 78, Nunemacher, 6'2", 290-pound senior. And there's Johnson who went in and scored.
Hines is split to the near side. Ewell now goes to the top of your screen. He's number 2 on 2nd and 8. Dillon got Clarkston Hines across the 45 to the 48-yard line. Lee, 17 yards on that pickup. Dilwood doesn't take much of a drop, does he?
The reason he doesn't take much of a drop is that's where you don't get sacked. Spurrier has a 3- and 5-step drop. If there's a lot of pressure, he'll go to 3. If there's not much, he'll go to 5. He has Dilwig as trained as any coach in America. I really feel that Spurrier does as good a job with any quarterback in the country as by any coach.
And Dilwig's only thrown 4 interceptions in over 215 passing attempts so far this year. 3 wide receivers once again. Bud Zuber, a tight end, is split out to the far side on 1st and 10 as they hand it up the middle. And 27, Roger Boone, the junior from Lake Braddock, Virginia, gets about 4. Otis Moore, 81, makes the tackle. And Clemson will bring in, they play a 3-man front. They will play 9 players up front today.
The reason they play 9 players up front is against a passing team. It's very, very difficult to keep on rushing the passer without getting real tired. That happened to LSU in the great Auburn game. Auburn could not get to that quarterback a couple of weeks ago.
Walter Jones split out at the top of your screen on 2nd and 6. 2:26 left to go. And Hines, the intended receiver, no penalty marker down. Dexter Davis, number 9, was right there. And Hines, without question, one of the top receivers in the country. And Dexter Davis, 9, just all over it.
I tell you why. I can see why they bring Dexter Davis in there from Sumter, South Carolina. He looks like he's got great quickness. You notice how he closed to the ball? Hines, number 12, is very, very elusive. But Dexter Davis from Sumter, South Carolina really made a nice play on that one.
Last year, Hines set an ACC single-season reception record, 57 catches for over 1,090 yards. 3rd down and 6. Dilweg behind, and that time a penalty marker is down. Dilweg throwing on the run and behind Clarkston Hines. Donnell Wolford was the man on the coverage.
Holding.
And the holding call against Duke. Duke actually has a very big offensive line. They've got good size. And
Spurrier is upset there, but you know, he's not really that upset as a case of that the ball was holding. It was the fact that it was an incomplete pass. At least they'd had an opportunity that time.
You know what I like about Spurrier? He wears the same hat coaching as he does in the golf course.
He's probably the best golfer of all the college football coaches in the country.
He might be. Yeah. He coached in the pro ranks enough so he could get out there and play when he didn't have to recruit, right? Dilweg to punt it downfield. James Lott is tackled at the 20-yard line. Let's go to Tim Brandon. Tim.
All right, Roger. Southern Cal, one Heisman candidate, Rodney Peete. Can't find an open receiver, uses his athletic ability to score from 9 yards out to make it 14-0. Now, Troy Aikman, the other Heisman candidate. Well, he'll just air it out, looking for Reggie Moore. And now, UCLA running away from Cal by a score of 17-3 in the first quarter. Roger?
Great, thank you, Tim. There's a couple of Heisman candidates for sure. Duke, 5-0. Now, this is overall. Clemson 4-1. North Carolina State with a loss to Maryland in the conference. As they pitch it back, and they're going to throw it. And wide open downfield is 25. That's Gary Cooper. Touchdown, Clemson. DeChain Cameron, number 10, a backup quarterback. 79 yards on the touchdown pass, and Clemson surprises Duke, and they lead it 13-0.
Interesting little call, right? They slip in a quarterback, a tailback, and the reason why it worked so good this time is because the quarterback is passing the ball a lot. Number 25, Cooper, is behind everybody, but the reason why that works so well is they slip the quarterback in between series, where they did not get a chance to see him break the huddle that fast.
Second touchdown reception by Cooper this year as Rusty Sile picks it up and through. And Clemson leads it 14-0.
Little toss plays going to his left. He's going to run it. All of a sudden he comes out. A quarterback throws the ball nice and smooth. 25 Cooper runs down. He's wide open. The reason he's wide open is those defensive secondary people, Sampson, Charles Dickerson, have been making too many tackles on the line of scrimmage, and that's why they can't play both, the deep pass and the running game.
26 is Hooper, 25 is Cooper. They got Hooper and Cooper as the wideouts for Clemson. That time it was Cooper right there. And what a thrilling moment for number 10, DeChain Cameron, the freshman from LaGrange, Georgia. He's got a pretty good arm there.
Well, he should be. He's recruited as a quarterback. But remember, I bet you he runs the option better than he throws the ball if he came to Clemson.
Oh, the big play by the Tigers. And that really gets his crowd into it here. As Rusty Sile, senior from Savannah, Georgia, will kick it off. And Jones and McCracken back deep for Duke. 1:57 left to go, first quarter. And this is Randy Jones at the 16. And Jones is brought down by 44, LeVon Kirkland. So Kirkland, besides starting on defense, plays in special teams, and now Dillwig's got to get something working here. They're down by 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. And they'll have it 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Dillwig so far 5 of 14, 49 yards. Danny Ford told me yesterday, well, yeah, he threw against us for 300 yards last year, but he didn't throw any touchdown passes, and we intercepted him 3 times. So he can throw for 300 again as long as they don't score. They pitch it back. Now they're going to throw it back to Dillwig. Clarkston Hines, the intended receiver, and I want to tell you what, Hines did a great job to stop an interception because Derek Davis had a much better chance at that football than Clarkston Hines.
A little razzle-dazzle. That time the quarterback tossed the ball to Boone, who threw the ball back. Now Hines is wide open, but watch Davis from the right-hand side of your picture come out of nowhere and almost pick it off. They must have started Davis because of his athletic ability against the forward pass over Henderson, who's a bigger, stronger defensive back.
Hines comes split to the near side. 2nd and 10. Dillwig intercepted, intended for Hines. Gene Beasley, his 2nd interception this year. And it looked like Beasley knew the route that Hines was supposed to run better than Hines did.
Hines goes down the field. Now Beasley is in perfect position to watch the quarterback's eyes. Now watch. In this case, Dillwig, what they call bird dog, which meant he watched Hines all the way. 27 got a good jump on a ball. Beasley did. Interception.
5th interception thrown this year by Anthony Dillwig. And with 1:37 to go, first quarter, Clemson's got it 1st and 10 at the Duke 48-yard line. Ricardo Hooper, 26, split to the near side, but they'll give it to the first man through, and that's Wesley McFadden. And McFadden is down to the 43. John Howell, the strong side linebacker, number 29. So McFadden, a junior from Chester, South Carolina, his first carry of the day. Clemson's got 140 players suited up today for homecoming. That means, Lee, that probably if they go on to really start bashing Duke, they're not going to beat them that bad because a lot of guys will get to play that normally don't.
You're right. You don't want to play a great team like Clemson with only 50 guys there.
Pitch back, 33 is Joe Henderson. Henderson has got it outside, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Quentin McCracken, the freshman, makes the tackle, 12-yard pickup.
The offensive line from Clemson is an outstanding offensive line. Watch back, number 60. As he goes to block the man by himself, he goes to the next level, which means he goes to the linebackers and watch him run to the outside. The problem you have against Clemson is they've got so many good tailbacks. Each one of them want to show themselves better than the other, and they run hard and harder and harder.
1st down and 10. Less than a minute to go, first quarter. Once again, that's Joe Henderson. And Henderson down to the 26. A penalty marker is down. A late flag on that play. Danny Ford was telling us about his quarterback, Rodney Williams. He said, well, I guess the guy does a pretty good job. He says we've won a lot of football games. I mean, he's not that impressive, but all he really has done, Lee, is win football games. He's been the MVP in the Citrus and the Gator Bowl. It seems like the bigger the game, the better he plays.
He's from Columbia, South Carolina, and he's a redshirt. So that means he's in his 5th year here, and he's a very mature quarterback.
They have, as a matter of fact, on this Clemson in the 2 deep, over 30 players who are redshirted. So they have a lot of experience on this team. 1st down and 22. Williams throwing it near side. He's got his man, Keith Jennings. Jennings inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. Eric Volk 10 and Quentin McCracken 5. And Duke has gone to their backup secondary. They've had a bunch of reserves in there in their secondary.
They better bring in some more, but they better bring in bigger ones because this guy's 6'4", 235 pounds. Number 87 catching the football. Notice the way as soon as he caught the ball, he turned into a runner. That's a well-coached receiver. Jennings, number 87.
He's their leading receiver. That was just his 13th pass reception this year. 1st and 10 from the 15, 5 seconds to go, first quarter, and McFadden punches it down inside the 15 to the 12-yard line. McCracken makes the stop, and we've completed the first 15 minutes from Clemson, South Carolina. The Tigers lead it 14-0.
We're not a company, but we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it. We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you. As your ability for leadership grows, so will you.
It smells like a man. Energizer batteries were never invited to that other batteries playoffs. And today's Energizer won't be invited either, because no battery lasts longer than Energizer. A word to the wise. Energize.
No.
Yes, you even had the same tie on.
I couldn't have the same tie. I just got this tie yesterday.
Well, see there, I proved my point.
Your dream was 2 days ago.
Oh, yes, you don't know someone with long blonde hair like this?
Live in Britannia.
Roger Twyla, Lee Corso, back with you in Clemson, South Carolina, and a lot of happy Tiger fans. They lead it 14-0, and they've got it 2nd down and 7. Ball's at the 12-yard line. That's Joe Henderson. Henderson right down around the 10, where Wayne Charles, 34, and John Howell, 29, make the stop for the Blue Devils. First quarter, Johnson, the 1-yard touchdown run. Clemson up on top 7-0, and then Cooper, the 79-yard pass from the chain Cameron. And, of course, that was on the pitchback to Cameron, who's a third-string quarterback. And that's the big play, and Clemson ready to push it in again. 3rd down and 6. Williams going to the corner. Touchdown, Gary Cooper. Just his 3rd touchdown pass of the year, Rodney Williams.
The right-hand side of your picture, 25 Cooper beats 25 Sampson. Perfect play to right-hand corner. You'll notice what they did is a little kickoff. One man went under, and Sampson beat Sampson. Sampson got beat by number 25, Cooper.
He's got a nice arm. Rodney Williams, they said, well, he's a better runner than he is a passer, but obviously, if he can complete a couple early, he gets his confidence, and that was a perfectly thrown football. As Rusty Sile with the point after, and it's good. And with 14:24 to go, second quarter, Clemson has a 21-0 lead.
Williams rolled to his left and set his feet. Now watch, he throws off his back foot. Perfect style. Now 25 Cooper beat 25 Sampson on what they call a post corner route. If you watch Williams to his left, he'll plant his right foot and get good balance. That's really well coached. Now, Cooper, number 25, fake to the inside, made 25 Sampson fight on it and broke it off to the spot.
You remember when Danny Ford was talking to us about Rodney Williams, and he said, you know, he reminds me of Pat Trammell, a guy he played with at Alabama. You always expect him to stumble before, you know, he's able to run with it. But somehow, some way, when a big game comes up, when they need a clutch performance, they're always there and they do the job. And Williams has been right on the mark. He's played exceptionally well so far today. And Gary Cooper's having the day of his life. He came into this game with just 5 receptions and 1 touchdown. Now he's got 2.
And he had that bum knee.
Yeah.
He's from Ambridge, Pennsylvania, in western Pennsylvania, that produces a lot of great football players.
Sile to kick it off. And Jones and McCracken back deep. McCracken will take it at the 4-yard line. Quentin McCracken with room. McCracken, one man to beat. McCracken could go all the way. And he does. Touchdown, Duke. yards on the kickoff return for the touchdown by Quentin McCracken, a freshman from Southport, North Carolina.
Can you imagine all the hours you play on pass offense, all the hours you do on pass deep, and it comes down to the kicking game? Great blocking here, but the thing I like about this gentleman right here is his speed right there. He took off, touchdown. Duke's back in this ball game.
Doug Peterson for the point after, and it's no good. Peterson has missed his first extra point of the year. That's a bulletin. He will shortly become the all-time leading kicker in Duke history.
As we take a look at Peterson, you usually can watch his left foot. Now, see his left foot? It slipped a little bit.
I thought that was good.
It went to the right. Yeah, but
that might have been a Reggie Hoke kick. We'll be right back to Clemson.
First, Gillette made shaving closer. Then we made it smoother. With Atra Plus, its Luber Smooth Strip glides the razor over your face for Gillette's smoothest shave. The Atra Plus system. First, we made it closer. Then, we made it smoother.
Before you sink some $20,000 into a new car, consider that a new Volvo 240 goes for as little as $17,585. And while settling for something other than a Volvo is bad enough, paying more for it is even worse.
Guess who has more of the year's top films, Showtime or HBO? Well, Showtime has Outrageous Fortune. HBO doesn't. Showtime has Stakeout. HBO doesn't. Showtime has Beverly Hills Cop 2, Tin Men, RoboCop. HBO doesn't. And only Showtime has exclusive rights to 4 of the year's top 5 hits. Showtime exclusives. Here you see them, there you don't.
What's the secret to Pop Secret microwave popcorn? Perfect popcorn popped under perfect conditions. Pop Secret leaves very few unpopped kernels. Pop Secret from Betty Crocker. It's the only way to pop.
Hi, I'm Denise Austin. Do you want to rock hard, Femi? Well, join me every day for Getting Fit right here on ESPN.
Now, the final chapter, students, in Bosworth's book of etiquette, personal hygiene. I suggest the maximum protection of new Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette. Antiperspirant and deodorant. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Today's game is being brought to you by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. By Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by Volvo, a car you can believe in. Now, one of the most exciting plays in all of football is the kickoff return for a touchdown, and we just saw one here of 96 yards by Quentin McCracken. And Doug Peterson, the junior from Sarasota, Florida, to kick it off. Needs just 8 points to break Duke's all-time scoring record.
It'd be poetic justice for Clemson to run like that.
Well, Joe Henderson and Wesley McFadden are back there. It's a short kick. And that's McFadden, 22, and he is wrapped up at the 27-yard line.
As we watch McCracken, number 5, he starts up to the middle and he takes off to the left. He's got excellent speed. He breaks the first group, but now I want you to watch number 36, Jerome Henderson, come into your picture. Henderson is one of the fastest men on the Clemson team, and he cannot catch McCracken. Right here, he'll dive, try to stop him, but not quite make it. McCracken, touchdown.
And he high-stepped it into the end zone. 21-6, Clemson leads it. They've got the football. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. And the first man through is Tracy Johnson. He's stacked up. Lee, this is a great play for Duke to get some incentive back and get their team pumped up. As we take a look at the scoring summary, Cooper, 11-yard touchdown reception from Williams. That made it 21-0. And then McCracken on the 96-yard kickoff return. But that's exactly what Duke needed, down 21-0.
Because at that time, the game was almost getting out of hand. and he would have seen 125 of those 130 players play for the Clemson team. But Duke's back in it now.
87, Jennings splits to the near side, along with Gary Cooper, number 25. On second down and 8. Williams throwing to Jennings, and he can't catch it at the 42. Let's go to Tim Brando. Tim?
Roger, the big news in Berkeley is the Golden Bears are in it, trailing 17-3. This is Troy Taylor. Little play-action fake pitch, and there's Darrell Ingram on the 5-yard reception, 17-10 there. Even bigger news at Notre Dame. Tony Rice runs the pitch. Pat Allers gets a great block from Dean Brown, caving in the Miami defensive front. And right now, 28-21 Notre Dame. Let's get back to Roger in Death Valley.
Okay, thank you very much, Tim. Some great college football games on this Saturday. In motion to the near side, Doug Thomas, number 41, on third down and 8. Pass intended for Ricardo Hooper. Number 26, Wyatt Smith, over on recovery. So after the big kickoff return by Duke, 3 downs and a punt for Clemson.
Sometimes what happens to a team like Clemson, you score too fast, too early. They were very high to get into this ballgame, and all of a sudden, boom, now a little bit of air has come out of that bubble.
And now Chris Gerdacki, the freshman punter from Stone Mountain, Georgia, looks downfield as he goes back to his 15, and he sees number 5 at the 32. That's Quentin McCracken.
He's got to be too tired to get this one.
Left-footed punter. And a rather short kick on the far side. They'll mark it at the 34-yard line. Just 36 yards on the punt for Gerdacki. And with 13:07 to go, first half, Clemson leads at 21-6.
We're not a company.
But outstanding people come to us every day.
People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts.
People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual.
People who will become your friends for life. People just like you.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Navy.
The Air Force.
The Marines.
The Army.
We're the Armed Forces.
It's a great place to start.
The Volvo 780 has been engineered to be the most exceptional Volvo ever, with an interior that advances the science of ergonomics, seats that take longer to make than some cars, a sound system that sounds better than anything you've ever heard, and multi-link independent rear suspension that puts comfort and handling under one roof. The limited edition Volvo 780. Get one while they last.
Oh, give me land, lots of land under sunny skies above. Don't fence me in.
Now UPS delivers to every country in Western Europe, the Pacific Rim, Down Under, and Canada. And because we're so efficient, we can deliver your international parcels and documents for fewer francs, yen, or drachmas than other companies charge.
Don't fence me in.
UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
ESPN Saturday Stampede. Unstoppable power unleashed every week. A thundering herd of the country's best college football teams colliding throughout the day live. Perennial powerhouse Oklahoma is in a heated battle for the Big 8 championship, and Colorado could burn them. It's the first of 2 great matchups, live Saturday night on ESPN.
Duke has it now, 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. Clemson showing blitz. Dillard with a long count. Down the middle, he's got his man. Walter Jones at the 46-yard line. Dexter Davis made the stop. And it was oh so important for this offensive series for Duke to get off to a good start, and they've done just that.
They fake the tailback. Number 27 will fake in the middle. He picks up the linebacker that's blitzing and leaves one-on-one coverage. Number 9, Davis against number 26, Jones. No way. Too well schooled that Duke secondary.
Jones and Clarkston Hines both split to the far side on 1st and 10. Dilweg is checking off. Penalty marker is down. Penalty marker's down.
Well, The field judge in the right-hand corner usually does that. It's too much time.
Lee, we talked yesterday about Clemson and how you felt that they didn't want to get too fancy on defense. They just, as you say, tighten the chin strap a little tighter, and let's see who's the better man.
The reason Danny Ford didn't want to get too fancy on him, these players is called paralysis through analysis. You don't hit anybody. To beat Duke, Clemson and the Orange has got to out-physical the white team. Got to out-finesse them.
First down and 15. Boy, he's got all day, and he's got a man wide open. Walter Jones inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Dexter Davis, 9 on the stop, and a 22-yard completion by Anthony Dillwig.
You notice who they're going to, the right-hand side of your picture. They fake a little draw to keep the linebacker 92. Frozen Brewster. Brewster was supposed to be back there helping number 20 Wolford, but by the fake that froze the linebacker and left the lane wide open behind him.
Actually, Donnell Wolford was the man that was beat. He had the coverage there. First and 10 from the 27-yard line. Jones and Clarkston Hines to the near side. That's Boone in motion to the far side. Colonna, the tight end, has it inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. Gene Beasley stuck him pretty good, but Colonna goes 6'5" and 241.
He played basketball at Duke, so you know he's got to be an athlete. As he releases into the middle, Colonna is looking for the coverage. Number 58, Taylor's trying to cover one-on-one and can't, and number 27, Beasley, doesn't get there quick enough. You notice how Duke and Steve Spurrier is moving that ball around to different people?
First and goal from the 7-yard line. Boone is split to the near side now, along with Clarkston Hines. Rimashevsky the lone setback. Oh, hit Clarkston Hines right on the shoulder pass. That's the second one he's dropped today.
And both of them are coming to the inside short where he can hit by that inside linebacker. He comes up the field and he runs what we call a drag route, which means somebody clears out and he comes underneath. The ball was thrown too hard, but he didn't get his hands out, and therefore he didn't get a chance to catch it.
All due credit to Clarkston Hines 2 weeks ago in the win against Vanderbilt. He made a great catch over the middle late in the game, and he took a real strong hit there as Duke went on down, kicked the field goal to win it. Second and goal from the 7. Hines split to the far side this time. Dillwig throwing it towards Colonna, but a good play by Anthony Dillwig, who's flat on his back as we speak at this moment. He saw everyone covered. He saw Colonna in the far corner, so he just threw it out of the end zone. Davis was on the cover along with Wolford, but a lot of pressure inside there on Anthony Dillwig.
55, Jesse Hatcher from Thompson, Georgia, to the right-hand side of your picture, is eventually going to get through and get to Dillwig right here. He puts the pressure on him and makes him throw the ball out of bounds, so it wouldn't be an interception.
Third down and goal from the 7. Clements is 4, Ewell is 2, Hines is 12. They're all split to the near side. Clarkston Hines, touchdown Duke. Wide open. And Anthony Dillwig, now in his 6th quarter of football against Clemson, his first touchdown pass.
This time, the same play. Remember that drag play? The same thing. He comes in, he delays underneath Wolford. They use one man to clear it out. That time, did you notice, Roger, how he clutched that ball and put it right in his hands? Excellent play. Now, got to go for 2, though.
6th touchdown reception of the year for Clarkston Hines. And the Blue Devils will go for 2. Once again, the 3 wideouts, same formation. Clements, Ewell, and Clarkston Hines split to the near side. Hines, 2 points. They found something there that they like an awful lot. So the 2-point conversion from Dillwig to Clarkston Hines, and it's 21-14.
Dillwig sets his feet real well, but this is what I like about him. He drills this one. This is a shot because all the Clemson men are in good position. Hines clutches the ball, 2 points. Duke's back in this ball game.
11 minutes left to go. First half from Clemson, and we'll be right back.
Are you over 30 and single?
Are you looking for love or companionship?
Call the new Romance Hotline and listen to recorded messages from exciting and sincere singles.
Dial 1-900-909-8000.
Call anytime, 24 hours, and hear recordings of single people looking for romance.
On the Romance Hotline.
For adults over 30 only, please.
Call 1-900-909-8000.
Happiness is just a phone call away.
And when you call, remember, it's your little secret.
Opportunity can't knock unless it's on your doorstep. Subscribe to the Wall Street Journal.
Call 800-372-3000 for this great journal subscription offer. 13 weeks for just $29.75 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $29.75. Phone 800-372-3000 now for the Wall Street.
ESPN Saturday Stampede. Unstoppable power unleashed every week. A thundering herd of the country's best college football teams colliding throughout the day live. Perennial powerhouse Oklahoma is in a heated battle for the Big 8 championship, and Colorado could burn them. It's the first of two great matchups, live Saturday night on ESPN. ESPN is your ticket to the NFL when the Washington Redskins and Houston Oilers go head-to-head. Last year, the Redskins were second to none, and now are on the warpath to repeat their super season. All is well in Houston, where the Oilers hope to drill the Super Bowl champion. The Washington Redskins and Houston Oilers battle head-to-head when NFL Sunday Night Football returns, October 30th at 8 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Clarkson Hines of Duke had a string of 7 consecutive 100-plus yard games stopped against Vanderbilt. If he would have made an 8th grade, he would have tied Henry Ellard and Howard Twilley, as an NCAA record holder. That didn't happen against Vanderbilt, but he is looking fine so far today with 4 receptions and 71 yards. I was thinking of the golfer, Howard Twilley, the wide receiver from Tulsa University. Peterson to kick it off. And what a turnaround after the big touchdown return by McCracken, as Joe Henderson will take it at the 3. And across the 25 to the 28-yard line, where Clemson will put it in play. But Anthony Dilweg got him moving.
Dilweg, number quarterback, is number 8. As he drops back, he's looking in the middle of the field. Remember, he's not looking at the receiver. That's a great play. As he throws the ball, what they call a drag route. Hines will go up, wait, one man clear. He'll catch the ball with his arms and makes a good play. Now watch this. Yeah. Dilweg's back in his ball game.
Clemson leading at 21-14, 10:53. Left to go first half, and Allen has it on the pitchback. Allen cuts it up across the 30. Hard running by Allen up to the 35-yard line by Terry Allen. Host of Duke players in there, including number 78 up front, Doug Clyde.
The first one to hit him was number 25, Sampson, who's only 170 pounds. Allen's 190 pounds, and he just ran right over him.
Allen, 21 from Commerce, Georgia, with 3 rushing touchdowns this year, and one of the leading rushers in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Second down at 2, pickup of 8 on that last play. Allen again. He's got the first down up to the 40-yard line. John McDonald, 99, who has checked into the game. One of the players in on the tackle. A pickup of 5 there as you take a look at McDonald, 99. He's a senior from Wagram, North Carolina.
He missed last year because of shoulder surgery. He's an outstanding prospect. They like him.
He's a weak side linebacker, and he'll play on the outside. First and 10. 9:48 to go. Handoff right up the middle to Tracy Johnson. And maybe a couple. Preston Anderson, number 90, a sophomore from Norwalk, Connecticut. Now, I mentioned earlier about the fact that in the 2 deeps, Clemson has better than 30 players who have been redshirted. Duke has but 5 redshirted players on their their roster. All of those medical redshirts, and it's just been the last couple of years, Lee, that they've decided to then go ahead and redshirt players if they choose to do so. And that'll make a big difference, obviously, in their football program. Second down and 8. Williams going deep. Got it. Ricardo Hooper at the 30-yard line. Rodney Dickerson and Erwin Sampson both over there. 38 yards on the reception.
It's exactly the same play that Cooper caught for a touchdown. As the quarterback goes back, they run one man, as you'll see, a man short right there, and they run the other man, 26, Cooper deep from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, Williams knows that was a big play because Clemson hasn't been able to retaliate against any of the Duke offensive schemes yet.
Jennings and Davis will split to the near side. 1st and 10. Clemson at the Duke 30-yard line. Tracy Johnson, powerful fullback, down to the 20-yard line. Pickup of 9 yards. It'll be just short of the first down. Wyatt Smith and Wayne Charles both in on the stop. And they'll call it a gain of 9, and it's just short of the first down as you look at Tracy Johnson. There's Rodney Williams from Columbia, South Carolina, second quarterback in Clemson history to pass for 4,000 yards. The other, Steve Fuller, he's a pretty good QB. And he is the winningest, by the way. Fuller, one of the guys he surpassed, Homer Jordan, another. Second down and 1. 8:30 left to go. He'll throw it. The intended receiver was Ricardo Hooper. Notre Dame leads Miami 28-21 in the third at South Bend. UCLA leads Cal 17-10 in the second quarter. USC 14-7 over the Huskies of Washington at halftime. Auburn beat Akron 35-0. Iowa 17, Michigan 10 at halftime. Arkansas edges Texas 27-24. I was going to say Auburn 35 to zip, but you know the Akron zips. I'll leave that one alone. Johnson inside the 20. He's got the first down. Lee, what about that call on 2nd and short? Did you like it?
Yes, I'll tell you why I liked it, because they had nothing to lose. It loosens up the defensive secondary, but it gives the illusion that they're wide open, but they're not wide open. They're just going to run the ball right at Duke and knock them down and keep knocking them down and keep running until Duke finally collapses from fatigue defensively. Offensively, the Duke can score just about every time they get the ball.
When we met with Danny Ford the other day, he had a suit on. I didn't even recognize him. Always with that ball cap on the sideline, down on one knee. 1st and 10 from the 19. Lone setback. Here's Johnson. He's got it. He is stuck, but he's able to break away. What an excellent job. Preston Anderson met him head on and really stuck him, but like a good back, as soon as he felt contact, he spun to the outside.
Well-coached football team. Number 90, Anderson, as you said, hits him right there, head on, boom. But watch him. He flips his body, lean forward. Great. The true backs, like you said, Roger, are the backs that make contact and then make yards after contact. Johnson is obviously a very strong physical football player.
Second down and 6. Clock running, 7:23. Jennings and Davis split to the near side. They're pitching back to Allen. Allen tried to cut it up. He got inside the 15 to the 14-yard line, where John Howell, the strong side linebacker, number 29 from Burlington, North Carolina, made the tackle. Danny Ford, of course, has had an outstanding career. His record versus the ACC, 47-12-1. Youngest coach ever to win a national title at the age of 33. You can't call him a young coach anymore. He's 40. Third down and 5. Jennings split to the near side along with Hooper. Allen to the 5-yard line. And enough for the first down as Erwin Sampson finally brings him down.
Clemson is doing now. They're running what they call an unbalanced line, which if you'll see, there's 3 men on this side and just absolutely outnumbering them. And Allen gets the ball, gets a good block from Jennings, and he moves forward. Clemson right now will go to Johnson, number 42, and just run him in there 4 times and defy Duke to stop him.
They call him the human first down. They always use him on short yardage situations. Double tight end Stacy Fields is checked in. Chip Davis is a lone wideout to the top of your screen. And 1st and goal from the 6. Williams keeps it. Touchdown, Clemson! rushing touchdown for Rodney Williams, and what a beautiful fake into Johnson on the inside.
Why, they go against the computer tendency. They fake the ball to fullback number 42, Johnson. He comes down the line of scrimmage. 34 has to make a decision, and Williams is 210 pounds and strong enough to go in there. As you see the fake, everybody is sealed to the inside. 25, Sampson tries to come up and make the tackle with 29, but too strong.
Rusty Sile is good on the point after, and with 6:34 left to go in the first half. We got a wild one from Clemson, South Carolina, as the Tigers lead the Blue Devils of Duke 28-14. Coming up next here on ESPN, want to remind you, as you take a look at this huge crowd of 83,500, Syracuse and Penn State. That's coming up at 7 Eastern time after our game here from Clemson. So be sure to stay tuned for that one. And, of course, later on tonight, we've got Utah State and Fresno State. Second largest crowd in Clemson history here this afternoon, 83,500. How much do they love football at Clemson? I'm driving in to Clemson, South Carolina today, and I go by a small cemetery, and there's a gravestone with a wreath over it. And the flowers are arranged to look like the Clemson Tiger Claw. They love Clemson football forever.
No.
Yes.
Hey, did you make that up?
That's a true story.
That's a good one.
11 plays, 73 yards. It took him 4 minutes and 26 seconds. And the 5-yard touchdown run as Rusty Sile gets set to kick off. Now, do you kick it away from McCracken? You've got Randy Jones back there.
Clemson won't kick it off to him. They'll kick it and defy him to do it again and try to knock him down and cause a fumble.
And that's Clemson football.
That's right.
McCracken is going to take it 2 yards deep, but he's a pretty wise freshman.
He probably heard what we were saying.
And Duke will have it. 1st and 10 from the 20. Sile, one of the few straight-ahead kickers you see anymore in college or professional. Pretty good drive last time, Lee. Just more of the same for Duke?
Absolutely. Duke will not change his game plan. They've got a wonderfully conceived pass offense that's perfect to beat Clemson if they could ever stop Clemson. The problem they have is Clemson has gone to the running game, and they can't stop it.
Boom. And Winishevsky, the setbacks on 1st and 10 from the 20. 6:34 to go. First half from Clemson. Right. Boom got nowhere. Mark Drag, 85, the middle guard, was all over him like a bad rash, and that didn't fool anybody.
Drag, 85, is from Charlotte, North Carolina. If you watch the middle of the picture, he whips number 53, Metz, and just crushes number 27, Boone. Good play by Drag, 85.
Second down and 15 as Drag, who goes 6'4" and 255, looms large over that center, Kerry Metz, who's 6'1" and 265. So, second down and 15. And timeout called by Duke. They want to talk it over, and Dilwig will go over to meet with Steve Spurrier. 5:52 to go first half, and Clemson leads it by 14.
Before you sink some $20,000 into a new car, consider that a new Volvo 240 goes for as little as $17,585. And while settling for something other than a Volvo is bad enough, paying more for it is even worse.
Deck the halls with love. Here's the secret to giving a Christmas gift to a guy. You have to give him 2 gifts. First, something he needs, like socks. Then, what he really wants, Playboy. Watch. Merry Christmas, Bob. Gee, socks. 1 for each foot. Now hit him with the good stuff. Bob, Playboy. A year subscription of Playboy. Wow! See? Playboy's the perfect Christmas gift. And look, every subscription you give includes this extra gift. The all-new Playmate of the Year video. A very exciting VHS that truly reveals why she won Playboy's top honor. But hurry, Christmas is right around the corner. Call now.
Give a year of Playboy for only $28. The Playmate video is free, and so is this card to announce your gift. Call 1-800-532-1100.
Socks not included.
Every morning, more working men and women put on Dickies work clothes than any other work set in America. There's one good reason. Dickies fabric just plain outwears and outwashes every other brand. When you want hard-working performance, what you need is horsepower. Dickies work clothes.
Made with Fortrell polyester by Fiber Industries.
Roger Schwarber, Lee Corso back with you. 4 wide receivers for Duke now on 2nd and 15 from their own 15-yard line. Dilweg, Clarkston Hines got it at the 35, and Dilweg took a shot. Dilweg being helped up as he was nailed by Richard McCullough, but a beautiful pass and reception.
You got to love the way Dilweg steps in there and throws the ball, but you also got to love the way Hines beats number 20, Wolford, the All-American. He drives him deep and catches the ball across the middle, and he knows he's going to get stuck. Terrific pass that time by Nate Dilweg.
Well, I'll tell you what, they have done a pretty good job on Wolford so far today. In motion is Boone, 27, 1st and 10 with the 36-yard line. 5:25 to go as Dilweg checking off at the line of scrimmage. He's going to tuck it under and go, and that's something he doesn't do very often. Dilweg has only carried the ball 20 times this year for a minus 27 yards.
That's what Clemson wants him to do. Every time he runs it, they get an opportunity to hit him.
It's interesting on the Duke sideline, the backup quarterback, Ken Hull, will stand in front of Steve Spurrier as Spurrier signals in the plays.
You know why he does that? So that the other team can't use binoculars and watch Spurrier and get his signals and chart him like they're stealing the signals on third base.
Hull's kind of setting a screen for him.
That's right. That's exactly what it's there for.
2nd and 8. Lockdown now, just 5 seconds. Dilweg throwing it underneath the Clarkston Hines. And a pickup of about 6 to the 44-yard line as Ed McDaniel made the stop for Clemson. Let's check out some other scores for you on this Saturday afternoon. In the 4th now, Notre Dame leads Miami by a touchdown. UCLA by 14 at the half against Cal. Auburn a 42-0 final against Akron. UCLA at halftime by 14 against Cal. Houston leading Tulsa 21-0 in the 1st. And here it's 28-14 Clemson. 3rd down and 2. And this crowd, listen to it. Well, you saw Dilweg back up without the football that time. A penalty marker thrown on the far side. And a delay of game against Duke.
What the quarterback was doing that time, he was shifting back into a shotgun to try to draw Clemson off, but also the quick kick. Last year against Clemson, he kicked the quick kick for 64 yards, which would not be a bad call at that time, but not now.
Which then Clemson took and threw for the winning touchdown of the game. 3rd down and 7. 4 wide receivers for Duke with 3:34 to go. 1st half. Dilweg sidearm, and that's got to be pass interference, and it is. Clarkston Hines got nailed from behind, and boy, Spurrier is upset because Hines is limping off. I want to tell you what, Hines has had 2 previous knee operations, and we saw him in practice yesterday with very skinny legs, not a big guy by any stretch of the imagination. And look at Spurrier.
Now that happens right in front of Spurrier because he thinks, oh no, there goes my guy. Watch it. Oh, no, they're right on the field. That's the way, Steve. Make sure they don't get anything away from you. But watch him get hit right here by number 27, Beasley. Boom, he hits him too quick. A very, very poor play by Beasley because it would have been a 4th down. But now it gives him a 1st down and 10.
1st down and 10. 3:29 to go. 1st half. Dilweg down the middle and bobbled and dropped by Walter Jones. That time, Dexter Davis on the coverage, but that's the 3rd pass that Dilweg has laid in to Clarkston Hines. And One now to Jones that should have been caught.
He's impressing me. Now watch the linebackers drop. Number 92, Brewster, is faked. He's supposed to be back there. And number 93, McDaniel. But by faking the ball, they freeze the linebackers up, and they're throwing a ball behind them. Nice strategy by Duke's passing game.
Keith Ewell is checked in because Hines is over on the sideline. Colonna's in a slot to the left now. He comes in motion to the near side on 2nd and 10. Colonna, the intended receiver, intercepted. Donnell Wolford, the All-American from Fayetteville, North Carolina, with his first interception of this year.
Roger, you're not going to believe this. Wolford was actually confused. If you watch him on the left-hand side of your picture, the wideout will go across the middle. He's just dropping back to his zone. Dilweg never expected him to be there. He thought he would follow that man across. Dilweg throws to a spot. Wolford stays there. Good interception. I like the way he caught it with his arms extended. Good play by Wolford.
So was it a mistake on Dilweg's part?
No, it was a great play by Wolford by not going for the fake.
First down and 10 for Clemson. 3:15 left to go, first half. Pitch back to Allen. He fumbles it. Spins. Great move by Allen as he gets up to the 43-yard line. Kedrick Ely, 94, was the first man to get to him.
You got to have a lot of faith in the option play. He comes down and pitches the ball to number 21, Allen, who almost drops it. Remember, it's only 2:51, and they're running an option play instead of running the ball directly at Duke and then punting it and going in with a 28-14 lead.
Cooper, 25, splits to the near side. 2nd down and 6. Williams. Cooper's wide open off his fingertips. I want to tell you what, this guy had more action today than he's had all year. Oh, he was so open that time. And the ball was right there by Rodney Williams.
Remember, we talked about at the top of the show, they're going to stop the option play, but be careful to watch the long pass. Number 25, Sampson, is actually on the line of scrimmage, and he's a free safety. They try to throw the ball right over his head. Good strategy, poor execution.
Williams, 3 of 8 for 66 yards, so Cooper, who's had a big day, drops one. And he'll come out of the game. Ricardo Hooper, so Hooper replaces Cooper, and he split to the near side. Jennings will be to the far side on 3rd and 6 with 2:31 left to go. And they give it up to middle. 33, Joe Henderson. And he gets little or nothing, possibly a yard on that play.
One of the things that I want you to understand, that's not Danny Ford's call. Somebody upstairs must be calling, because basically what they've given is Duke a chance with 2 minutes to get the ball, and they play a 2-minute drill. They could go down and get a field goal right now.
And they have but one timeout left, though.
They were throwing the ball and stopping the clock, which they didn't need to do.
2 minutes left to go. And Chris Gardocki, who in his senior year of high school in Stone Mountain, Georgia, had a 58-yard punt. And that one a bit of an end-over-end kick, and they're going to let it bounce. And what a good bounce for Clemson, huh? Well, I got to tell you something. Number 22, Wyatt Smith, will go to the sideline. I'm sure somebody will talk to him about that. 53 yards on that punt. Well, Duke's 5-0. They beat Northwestern and Tennessee on the road and Vanderbilt on the road. And they've come up with some big wins there. So they are 5-0 coming into this game at Clemson. What about the rest of the year for the Blue Devils? Last year they got off to an 0-3 start, then lost 4 straight. Maryland at Georgia Tech. They did to South Carolina today. Wake Forest at North Carolina State, and then North Carolina to finish out. 1:40 left to go and one timeout remaining from their 5-yard line. Watch the bomb. Down the middle, and the man was there, number 26 for Duke, and that's Walter Jones, as Dilweg took a pretty good shot again. Thrown just a little bit behind him. And that stops the clock. 1:34 left to go. First half. Now, the only thing this can do is, if Duke passes on every down, which we assume they will, that Clemson, with 2 timeouts left, could get another crack. And possibly a field goal.
Or a turnover to turn this game around.
Rimashevsky split out the fullback all the way to the near side, and they scoop it underneath on the handoff to Roger Boone. And he gets to the 11-yard line where Ed McDaniel brings him down. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 for the Blue Devils. And the clock running. 1:15 left to go. First half. Clemson with a 28-14 lead. So Clarkston Hines is back in. Tim Brando, Bino Cook at halftime, and an interview with Bobby Ross, the head coach of Georgia Tech. He's going to be feeling awful good this afternoon. Dilwood faked the quick out. Now he's telling Hines to come back. Boy, across the field. Across the field, he had Walter Jones wide open, and Dilwood took a tremendous hit from Mark Dragg. And now with 47 seconds left to go in the first half, Dilwood's going to have to stand in his end zone to punt it.
Mark Dragg, number 85, is playing a tremendous game. He's getting double teamed there. Keep your eye on him from the right-hand side of the picture. He's going to come and strike him right there. Nice tackle. Mike Dragg, 3.5, great point average. Excellent speed.
Low line drive punt, and it's fielded by Wilford. At midfield, penalty marker is down. Fumble. Wilford fumbled it, but it went out of bounds at the 49-yard line. So with 34 seconds remaining, a lot of penalty flags down. And if they're against Duke by some chance, then Clemson's got an excellent field position. But the officials seem to be pointing in the other direction. Once again, Tim and Bino at halftime. And boy, Georgia Tech did a number on South Carolina today. The clipping call is going to be against Clemson. It's been a funny year in college football, hasn't it, Lee? A lot of upsets.
That's a big win for Bobby Ross. He's been flirting with some good victories, but he sure need that one.
Well, there's a little Clemson Tiger fan. Of course, this homecoming weekend here, and they had Tigerama last night. 50,000 people showed up for that, the festivities, which precede the homecoming day game. And of course, Halloween just around the corner. She's getting an early start on it. Well, you can't go too far down here without seeing orange, can you?
They start them young, don't they?
Yeah.
They're season ticket holders at 3 years old.
1st and 10 from the 29. Now Clemson with 2 timeouts remaining. But they'll pitch it out. Kind of a dangerous play. Allen turns it up and gets the first down, and they're going to stop the clock, so they say that he did get out of bounds. So I guess Clemson feels just as comfortable running that pitch as they do throwing the ball downfield.
They do it so much that it can just become second nature to them. But it is a dangerous play to be tossing the ball out there.
Now, there was a penalty marker down on the far side. And Danny Ford has called a timeout. He's having a few words with the referee, Rod Daly. And the penalty is against Clemson. And Clemson has taken the timeout with 26 seconds left to go in the first half. So they'll have 1 timeout remaining. And Steve Spurrier, Danny Ford, really 2 coaches that took very diverse ways to where they're at right now. Spurrier, of course, a great college player. Kind of bounced around the NFL for a number of years and then became a college assistant at Duke, became the head coach with the Tampa Bay Bandits, now back in college coaching. And Danny Ford, who was a college player, became an assistant, and then right from assistant here at Clemson to the head job.
Danny has got one advantage over Steve, that Clemson has more tradition in football. Therefore, he can attract better football players than Spurrier. Spurrier's got an advantage over Ford in one respect, that he's got this wide open concept that is new to college football and can use it well at Duke with the good student athletes he gets.
Plus, you know, Spurrier can recruit the football player who's also a basketball fan. You used to do that, didn't you?
Absolutely. I use basketball every time I could. It's interesting here. I'm interested to see the kind of plays that they'll run from now on. They're not running Clemson-type plays in this last couple of series because they should be playing more conservative. So they can go in 28-14.
Hooper and Jennings split to the near side on 2nd and 16. Williams. Pass was partially deflected. It looked like Allen was the intended receiver, and Wayne Charles was back on the coverage, but it looked like somebody might have just tipped that at the line of scrimmage because it kind of floated downfield. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 16 with 20 seconds to go.
They bring Allen out of the backfield and try to isolate him on a defensive secondary person. Number 34 is in good position to cover him. Ball's knocked out of bounds. Again, a different kind of call, but a play that they're trying to set up something, maybe a field goal.
Cooper splits to the near side. Williams is 3 of 9. Remember, Duke has a timeout left. Allen up the middle, still on his feet. They haven't tackled him yet. And he gets across the 35 to the 36. And that'll use up just about the rest of the time as a Duke and Clemson player starting to go at it. That was Stacy Fields, 46 there for Clemson. And Erwin Sampson, 25. And they just let the clock run out. Kind of a strange ending to this half. But Duke got themselves back in the football game with the kickoff return by McCracken, and then the beautiful drive led by Zellwig after that kickoff return.
28-14. They took all that Clemson could give them. 21 points right away. Ford knows right now that he's on the official. He's not satisfied with the calls he's getting, but he knows he's in a football game because Clemson cannot stop Duke very often.
Of course, Danny hasn't been happy with the officiating, especially in that Florida State game. He's been jawing about it. We're at halftime. Clemson leads Duke 28-14, and let's go to Tim Brando. Timmy?
All right, Roger and Lee, thank you very much. Well, it is a wild day complete with just about everything.
The instructions said it would only operate for 1 hour on C batteries. Your batteries lasted for over 4 hours of constant operation. 4 hours. Finally, I had to throw husband and car out. Sincerely, Barbara Freeman, Redmond, Washington.
Rayovac. Batteries that turn people on.
I used to put in 5-6 hours of TV a day. Now I can't get near it. My parents always have it. You see, Stanley's giving away these home improvement videotapes when you buy a Stanley tool. So now they're doing a few projects in every room in the house. So what am I supposed to do now?
You can mow the lawn.
Clean your room.
Read a book.
Get a job.
Get a job, yeah.
Get a free home time video. Win a Chevy truck, a $20,000 home improvement, and $1,000 worth of Stanley tools in the Stanley Home Improvement Challenge.
When the class bell rings, your child becomes my child, too. So I'm going to do everything I can to help that kid succeed. But I can't do it all. Kids grow up so fast. We just get one chance to give them what they need. So what we give has to be the best. The best help you can give at home has always been Encyclopedia Britannica. It gets kids started on a lasting love of learning. And that makes a big difference in school and in their lives. This booklet will tell you more, and it's free. To get it, just call this toll-free number. Then, when you preview Britannica in your home, you also get this 3-volume desk reference set free. There's no obligation. Look, if we want terrific things to happen for your child, we've got to work together. But right now, all you have to do is make one toll-free call. Oh, there's the bell. Well, I've got a class to teach, and you've got a call to make.
For your free booklet and details on how to receive your desk reference set, call 1-800-554-9000 now.
Let's continue now with the Southwest Conference. Texas Tech and Rice. Someone needed a victory in this game. Someone had to get one, and the Red Raiders did. 38-36 the final. Baylor and Texas A&M, 28-14. So Coach Sherrill seems to have it together now. Tulsa and Houston, the Cougars coming back after their loss last week, 28-0 over Tulsa. TCU and BYU, 31-18. The final is the Cougars get the win. Big day for Matt Bellini. Now, Air Force and Utah, as we move on to the WAC, 56-49, Air Force in that ball game, and a wild one. And we move on to the MAC Conference, where that league is improving. Miami of Ohio, the cradle of coaches, losing to Ohio U, 38-21 the final there. Bowling Green and Central Michigan, 21-3 the final score there. The Chippewas with the win. Now, Kent State with a big victory today over Western Michigan, 45-28 the final score, and the Broncos were undefeated coming in. Eastern Michigan, the Hurons against Ball State, 16-12. So Ball State, another one of the 13 unbeatens coming in today, loses. Columbia and Yale, as we move on to the Ivy League, 24-10, Carm Koza with a huge victory. Columbia's winning streak snapped at 1. Harvard and Dartmouth, 38-7. Dartmouth, the Big Green, with a big day today over Tom Yohe and company in a game you saw earlier on ESPN. Now, Brown and Cornell, 35-0, Maxie Bonds Club rolling along. Colgate and the Quakers today,
33-22. Penn with the victory. Brian Keyes had a couple of touchdown runs. Princeton, big victory for them to stay in the hunt in a wild Ivy League race, 41-35 as they beat Bucknell today. Judd Garrett had a big day. Now Lehigh and Holy Cross, 48-25. The Crusaders rolling along. Jeff Wiley had 2 touchdowns passing. Now William and Mary in New Hampshire, 33-31. The final score, William and Mary with a win. In the Yankee Conference, the Maine Black Bears beating Rhode Island 28-14. Mike Buck with 3 touchdown passes. UConn handling Mass. The Huskies win by 21. Matt DiGregorio, 3 touchdown passes in the game. Delaware and Villanova, 10-7. The Blue Hens with a victory in a close one. Now in the Southern Conference, 2 of the top 5 teams in Division I AA come out of this league. Furman over Appalachian State, once ranked 2nd in the country, 24-9. Furman with a win. Western Carolina, the Fighting Catamounts out of Cullowhee, 45-10 over North Carolina A&T. The Citadel, 23 in Tennessee Chattanooga. The Moccasins going down by 17, 23-17. They lose by 6. The Thundering Herd of Marshall, all over East Tennessee State today, 50-14 the final. Now, Northeast Louisiana losing to Georgia Southern as we stay in Division I AA, 43-11. The Eagles of Coach Irk Russell get the win. Now, over to the Big Sky Conference, where Northern Iowa, a team that you'll be seeing on November 3rd here on ESPN in a special Thursday night college football game. Earl Bruce's team with a win over Illinois State, 34-7. Moving on, we've got Montana and Northern Arizona, 23-19, the score in the 3rd quarter. Boise State and Montana State, 24-0. Montana State with the lead in the 2nd quarter. The Vandals are leading Eastern Washington 7-6. That game now in the 2nd quarter. North Dakota State as we move to Division II with a 4-point victory over Mankato State. And Franklin and Marshall, the Diplomats, taking on Fordham today, 14-6. Fordham with the win. Rick Hollowell with a 68-yard day rushing the football. Ferrum and Frostburg State, 30-19, the final score there. And we've got even more to talk about when we continue. And don't forget, Bobby Ross, the happy coach of Georgia Tech, will be joining us shortly. So stay with us.
I was fortunate to be one of the first men to walk on the moon. And like you, I'm celebrating the rebirth of America's manned space program, the launch of the Space Shuttle Discovery. Now you can have this $5 commemorative coin marking this historic event. This legal tender coin is being issued by the Republic of the Marshall Islands, where America has an important space tracking station. This $5 coin is about the same diameter as a silver dollar, but even thicker, and painstakingly minted in a proof-like finish. Issued on Discovery's launch date and minted only in 1988, this historic coin is available at its $5 face value only for a short time and in a limited quantity. It's a tribute to America's determination and the undaunted courage of our astronauts.
Order your Space Shuttle Discovery $5 coins today for yourself or as a gift. Pay only the $5 face value plus $1 each for delivery. There is a limit of 5 coins per order. Call this number now.
The Atlantic Coast Conference. 8 institutions, proud of their academic and athletic excellence. A conference comprised of 6 state-supported public institutions and 2 private institutions. Member schools of the ACC have won 5 of the last 9 College Football Association Academic Achievement Awards. ACC teams have appeared in 8 major bowl games over the last 3 years, compiling an impressive 5-3 record. Committed to excellence in academics and athletics, the Atlantic Coast Conference.
ESPN Saturday Stampede. Unstoppable power unleashed every week. A thundering herd of the country's best college football teams colliding throughout the day live. Perennial powerhouse Oklahoma is in a heated battle for the Big 8 championship, and Colorado could burn them. It's the first of 2 great matchups, live Saturday night on ESPN.
Tim Brando back in our college football studios, 51 seconds remaining. Miami has the ball at the 10-yard line right now, and pass has just been caught in the end zone. It's now 31-30 with the extra point to come, and it was Andre Brown on the receiving end there in that ball game. It is now 31-30. We'll let you know what happens with the 2-point conversion or game-tying 1-point conversion in just a few moments. But right now, let's get you back out to the ACC. Roger Twyble and Lee Corso.
Okay, thank you very much, Tim, and welcome back to Clemson, South Carolina, Death Valley. And right now, Clemson with a 28-14 lead as we start the third quarter. And Doug Peterson to kick it off for the Blue Devils of Duke. And that particular end of the field, the big Frank Howard Field scoreboard looming over the end zone, casting the shadows down on the field. So Peterson kicking off from the sunlight into the shadows. Joe Henderson and Wesley McFadden back, and McFadden will take it at the 7-yard line. And McFadden to the 19, where Rodney Dickerson makes a stop. And Clemson will have it in play right there. Halftime statistics for you. And as expected, the passing department, Duke 11 of 28, Clemson 4 of 10. Yardage, though, just about equal because of the long touchdown pass. Rushing yardage leaves a big difference.
Nice balance by the Clemson team. 145 to 148. Obviously, Duke's got to get back in the ball game passing it, but they must run the ball a little bit more to keep the pass rush off of Jerry.
Hooper and Jennings will split out to the far side out of the I formation. And the pitch back to 33, that's Joe Henderson. And Henderson across the 20 up to about the 22-yard line. Erwin Sampson, we have called his name a lot today, and Rick Johnson, the defensive coordinator, told us yesterday that we would.
As you notice, Clemson jumped out. They come out throwing the ball, which didn't work very well, but 3 touchdowns in a row. 21-0. They lost a little bit of momentum. They came back with a nice drive, 11 plays, and went ahead 28 to 14.
Second down and 8. Chip Davis is split to the near side. And they'll give it once again to Henderson. He gets outside across the 30 to the 35-yard line, where Jeff Patton, who came from his left defensive end position, around to make the tackle, and that's a Clemson first down.
They started Henderson instead of Allen in the second half. He might be a little stronger runner. He's got great speed. He makes the fake to the inside, gets a nice block in there by number 76, Harmon, and moves forward. Clemson obviously went into the halftime and said, hey, no more messing around. Let's go right at him.
Henderson's a junior from Freehold, New Jersey. He came into this game having rushed for nearly 340 yards, so that was just about 90 less than Allen. First down and 10. Right up the middle, Tracy Johnson. And Johnson with a gain of a couple. Jeff Patton 80 and Preston Anderson 90. I want to remind all you folks who are watching this contest that we'll be updating you on that very important Notre Dame-Miami score just as soon as it's completed. But we appreciate you sticking with us here in Clemson. But right now, let's go to Tim Brando. Tim?
All right, Roger, here's the way it came down at Notre Dame with the score 31-30, going for 2. Walsh to Leonard Conley. Incomplete. Notre Dame leads with 45 seconds to play. The 2-point conversion play coming up as Walsh looks for his man, and it's incomplete in the end zone. 31-30 in the fourth quarter. Looks amazingly like the McManus to Pat Carter Florida State debacle against Miami a year ago, doesn't it, Roger?
So close, so very close. What an outstanding game in South Bend. And we welcome you back to Clemson.
Remember, they kicked an onside kick and got the ball against Michigan. They might do the same thing.
Clemson with another first down here while we're away. 1st and 10. And Williams back to throw. He swings it out to the near side. And the intended receiver was Joe Henderson. And he was covered well over on the far side. And that pass incomplete. This is the play selection so far.
True to form. Duke's a passing team. Clemson's a running team. The only difference is that the Clemson Tigers hit that big long one for a touchdown that really has been the difference in these two teams because it puts a lot of pressure on the secondary coming up to stop the running game.
3 wide receivers right now for Clemson on 2nd and 10 as Chip Davis splits to the near side along with Ricardo Hooper. And Williams is dumped at the 40. All over him was Tom Corpus, number 91, backup right defensive end, a junior from Westlake, Ohio.
They try to run the option play. If you watch number 91, the right-hand side of the picture, he lets the fullback go and takes Williams, number 13. The quarterback is supposed to read that. 91 went for him. He should have given the ball to number 42, the fullback Johnson.
So Corpus in there, one of the backup players, is both Danny Ford and Steve Spurrier utilizing a lot of players on this day. And it's 3rd down and 15 now. As in motion is Hooper. Williams tipped up in the air, and a fine defensive play by Wyatt Smith, number 22, a freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina, and that's a true freshman. I'll tell you, Wyatt Smith and Dexter Davis, 2 freshmen, really some outstanding defensive backs.
Smith there, number 22, has broken up 8 passes already there. That was number 9. Outstanding defensive play, but most important, a very big play because it forces a punt by Clemson.
Okay, Cooper was that intended receiver, and Vergaki will go back and stand on his 35-yard line, and Quentin McCracken is back deep for Duke at the 24. Left-footed kicker. At the 19, McCracken, he just stays right there. There was really nowhere to go. Excellent coverage by the special teams of Clemson. Mark Engel was the man that came down to make the stop. 39 yards in the punt. We'll be right after this.
What's the best brokerage account for an active investor? Ask a Schwab customer.
With my Schwab One asset management account, my money's never idle. When I sell a stock or I get a dividend, my cash instantly starts earning income. And it keeps on earning until I make my next investment.
When I need to get to my cash or take out a loan, I just use my Schwab Visa or write a check. Schwab One makes it easy.
All my financial moves are right here, on one simple statement. Now, you might expect to pay a lot of money for an account this handy, and not with Schwab One. There's no monthly fee. Now, that's real value.
To get your free booklet and an application for the Schwab One Asset Management account, call toll-free 800-848-8900. That's 800-848-8900. Call now for your free Schwab One booklet.
Playing football has been a solid foundation for my life. During my days at Wake Forest, I started the Santa's Helper program, providing toys for underprivileged children. Last year, our organization provided Christmas for over 250 children. Through experiences like this and the education that my athletic career helped provide, I've gained a personal satisfaction that's going to be with me for the rest of my life.
Enjoy college football, an American tradition.
If you're planning to move, you could unpack some great savings. Because now when you move yourself with Ryder, we'll enroll you in one of the country's biggest discount shopping services, absolutely free. Which means you can buy almost anything for your new home at some of the best prices around. So after you unpack, you can unwind with some great savings. Ryder, we're there at every turn.
Today's game is being brought to you by Jeep. There's a feeling you can get only in a Jeep. By Entra Plus, Gillette made it smoother. And by Kendall Motor Oil, for protection worth its weight in gold. Roger Twyble, Lee Corso with you. Clemson, South Carolina, and Duke with Anthony Dilweg to Clarkston Hines on the first play of their first possession of the second half. And a good pickup there of about 8 yards.
This is a quick screen. You watch number 12. He starts to the outside. He comes back and catches the football. 35, Rimashevsky comes out and gets a good block. And Hines drives it up. Second down and 2.
Jones and Hines split to the near side on second down. Let's call it 3 yards now. And the hand up right off the middle. Randy Jones goes nowhere. So Duke trying to run the football just a bit. But Mark Dragg right there in the middle of the line. And I'm looking at the offensive line for Duke. Chris Ports, 6'7", 280. Ted McNary, 6'5", 280. Brett Talacro, 6'4", 289. And Chip Natowski, 6'5", 282. The center, Metz, is 6'1", 265. Those are true pass blockers, and they're generally not good run blockers. And that's why Duke doesn't run with the football that effectively. At least against this Clemson defense. On third down and 3, wide open is the tight end, Colonna, and there's a penalty marker down back at the 27-yard line. Wolford makes the tackle. Plenty.
It might be offside Clemson with that voice of the Duke quarterback again.
Defense offside, penalty decline, first down.
Good call. He had more than enough for the first down. And there's a look at Spurrier and the backup quarterback, Ken Hall. Now, Steve, he sends in the plays. He doesn't listen to anybody from upstairs.
You notice he doesn't pay much attention to anything. The one thing he wants to find out from her is they're doing anything different that he's not used to. That's the only thing that ever bothered Spurrier on the sideline.
And we'd like to welcome all of you who've been watching Notre Dame, Miami, the Irish with a 31-30 victory. Roger Schwab and Lou Corso with you. Clemson, South Carolina. Clemson with the lead, 28-14, third quarter. Anthony Dilwood going deep. Ewell is there, broken up by Dexter Davis, and we're going to have a holding call in the backfield. Penalty marker is down, and the freshman Dexter Davis has shown us a lot today as a holding is called against Duke. 10:24 to go, third quarter. Clemson jumped out to a 21-0 lead, and then Quentin McCracken with a 96-yard kickoff return made it 21-6. The extra point was missed, and then Duke came back on their next possession. The touchdown pass from Dilwood to Hines. And they went for the two-point conversion. They got it. And then Clemson with another score. And that's where it stands right now, 28-14 in the third quarter. Third down and 3. And 3 wideouts go to the far side. That's Ewell and Clements and Clarkston Hines. First down and 20. He's sacked from behind. Loose football. Clemson's got it. Levon Kirkland was the man coming in from the outside that caused the fumble. And it appeared to be 93 Ed McDaniel that jumped on it.
On the right-hand side of your picture, you'll see number 44 beat number 73 Port, and also the back, and he gets the quarterback from the blind side, which means from the right-handed quarterback, it comes from his left. Good pass up by number 44. He beats Rimashevsky, number 35, strips the ball, and now Clemson's got a chance to run that football right in on Duke.
Ricardo Hooper and Chip Davis split to the top of your screen on 1st and 10 from a 19-yard line. Tracy Johnson just pulling ahead inside the 15 to the 14, the right side of the Clemson offensive line. Eric Harmon, 76, and Jeff Nunemacher, 78. Nunemacher, 6'2", 290 pounds. Folks, his calves measure 18 inches around. That's bigger than a lot of people's thighs.
I said he's from Somerville, New Jersey. He was a first-team All-Atlantic Coast Conference player last year.
Second down and 5. Wide receivers split to the top. Johnson and Henderson are the setbacks out of the eye. Pitch back to Henderson. And he's knocked out at the 12-yard line. 30, Randy Sally, backup weak side linebacker with the tackle. Let's go to Tim Bramble. Tim?
All right, Roger, thank you very much. As you mentioned, it's all over now, Miami and Notre Dame. Here's the way it ended on the onside kick. No such luck this time as it was in Ann Arbor. Anthony Johnson of Notre Dame falls on top of it, securing a 31-30 victory. Ironically, this is the same score that Johnson won over Michigan by, and that Miami beat Nebraska in the national championship in the Orange Bowl back in '84. Roger?
Thanks, Tim. Tracy Johnson inside the 5 to the 4. He's got the first down on a 3rd and 2. And Clemson will have it now 1st and goal with 9:29 left to go, third quarter.
Ground level, 42 Johnson, 78 Nunemacher. Fullback off the right corner. Good blocking in there by the line. And there goes Johnson. When in doubt, Danny Ford will revert back to the fullback, give the option play, and that's why he's one of the winningest coaches in college football.
Double tight ends right now. 1st and goal from the 4. First man through is Tracy Johnson. And he gets down to the 3-yard line. Johnson tackled by Tom Corpus, number 91.
What makes their offense tough when they get down here, Danny Ford has got what they call the triple option. The quarterback will come down, either give the ball to the fullback on the read, come down and run the option. He'll probably do the same thing this time. You don't know if the fullback's going to get it or the quarterback, because it depends on what Duke does.
Ricardo Hooper, the lone wide receiver at the top of your screen on 2nd and goal from the 3. Tracy Johnson, touchdown Clemson.
Great blocking on the right side, but here comes that option. Now the quarterback is watching the defensive end, number 91. The 91 Corpus Memphis took him like he did about 6 plays ago. He just handed the ball to Johnson. Watch number 91. See number 91? He was supposed to take Johnson, but what he did, he took the quarterback and he just handed it to Johnson for a touchdown. Great picture.
Rusty Sile for the point after. And it's good. So at 8:36 to go, third quarter, Clemson leads to 35-14.
Jeep Cherokee has available four-wheel anti-lock brakes. The most powerful engine in its class. Full-time four-wheel drive capability. And room for 5. Being superior in these areas makes Cherokee superior in these areas.
There's something made for your wallet that's more powerful than money. Something that connects you to anyone, virtually anywhere in the world.
Bonjour, j'arrive à 10 heures.
From any phone in the U.S.,
Down the car.
24 hours a day. Something that not only saves you time, it saves you money.
Hi, John. Just got in. Where's the meeting?
Okay, fax it to my hotel.
The MCI card.
Yeah, we got the green light.
It is America's business card.
A legend has been created. A better battery for the future. Better with more reserve power. Better with a warranty that lasts over 6 years. Better with a special $10 rebate available right now. The legend from Napa. A better battery.
Odious, contemptible, deplorable. I'm speaking of offending in the personal grooming arena. Something I would, of course, consider quite beyond the pale. So I give you a new Red Guard Sports Stick, antiperspirant and deodorant. When one needs to seek maximum protection and a fresh new scent, one should grab oneself one of these Red Guard Sports Sticks, because one would hate to be considered malodorous by one's chums. Now, wouldn't one? New Red Guard Sports Sticks from Gillette. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Cornelius Bennett leads one of the NFL's toughest defenses into an important divisional matchup against the New York Jets. Get the inside track this week at 8 Eastern Time on Zenith, Monday Night Matchup.
Due to time constraints, we now are forced to move ahead in this game to late in the third quarter, with Clemson now leading Duke 35-17.
Roger Twyman, Lee Corso back with you. Levon Kirkland, the injured player for the Clemson Tigers, appeared to be his left ankle. And with 3:34 to go, Peterson's field goal pulls Duke to within 18. As Peterson will get set to kick it off. He is now just 5 points shy of becoming the all-time leading scorer in Duke history. And back deep, 33, Joe Henderson, 22, Wesley McFadden. McFadden will take it at the 12 on the dead run. And he's across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And got a couple of reminders for you folks out there. That coming up next will be Syracuse at Penn State. That's coming up immediately following this game here at Clemson, South Carolina. Just a part of our big day of college football here on ESPN. And then later tonight, Utah State and Fresno State. Jim Sweeney, the coach at Fresno State. Bulldogs always very representative club. That's coming up later on tonight here on ESPN. Wide receivers for Clemson. Williams, 13, is the quarterback. 2 wideouts to the near side, but they'll go to Johnson right up the middle, and he's to the 34, 35-yard line. And John Howell, 29, one of the men in on the tackle. Also there is 34, Wayne Charles, and it appears to be the secondary of Duke that's doing most of the tackling against Clemson today.
They're all up in there. They're playing a 9-man front. They're forcing Clemson to try to beat it with the pass, especially now because Duke's not only playing against Clemson, they're playing against the clock.
And Terry Allen is checked back into the game as James Coley, the tight end, will move to the near side on 2nd down and 6. Gain of about 2 on that play. Busted it right up the middle. Johnson, Anthony Allen, 89, and also Preston Anderson, number 90. Allen came into the game with 20 tackles, also their top sack man with 2.5 sacks on this year. about this? Passing yards, Duke 210, Clemson 145. Rushing yards, 6 to 194.
Danny Ford told us if Duke throws the ball and runs it, you can't stop it.
3rd and 3. Johnson and Allen, the setbacks. Johnson, the first man through, has got the first down. At the 42-yard line, John Howe, one of the men riding him down. And you'll see now with 2:05 to go in the third quarter, Clemson put it in that low gear and just drive it on down.
What they'll do now in this situation, they'll use the clock as much as they can. They will call the automatics on the line of scrimmage, move the ball relentlessly down the field, and try to keep the ball away from Duke's hand. Duke will get the ball 3 more times. It's what they do with it. Depends on if they'll win the game or not.
Evans splits out to the near side. And there's Allen, first down at the 42-yard line. Wyatt Smith, number 22, made the tackle. And that was a different looking formation that time for Clemson.
It's that unbalanced line. They put everybody on the right side and they just toss the ball. And if you watch it, the linemen just come off the ball and blow. Now watch the right side of the line. Number 76, Harmon. Number 78, Hunamaker. They just drive the ball. 88, Coley. They're just one-on-one, physically beating the Duke men up front.
Coley, the tight end, and now Jennings, 87, the slot to the near side on 1st and 10. And the pitch back is to Allen. Nice cut back up inside. He's inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. Wyatt Smith and Wayne Charles make the tackle. And Jim Worthington, 51, will check back into the game. Also Tom Corpus, 91, as Steve Spurrier utilizing his bench, getting some fresh people in there. Less than a minute to go. Third quarter. Clemson has gone 13-0-1 when Williams completes 50% of his passes. He hasn't completed 50% today, but they're in control here, as that time the blitz by Duke, it disrupted the play, and Allen's going to be just short of that first down. They're going to bring the chains in to take a look. Brian Bernard, 93, one of the men in on the tackle. And now they're going to say, no, we don't need to bring those chains in. Bernard's a senior from Cocoa Beach, Florida. Duke truly recruits from throughout the entire United States. Clemson primarily stays here in the South. They'll go up to New Jersey and down to Florida every once in a while. But they stay close to home on 3rd and 1. And they stay close to the ground as Allen has it outside. Allen with one man to beat. Allen, touchdown. And there's a penalty marker down. They'll bring it back. A penalty marker down, and they'll bring it back. I think it was 13, Rodney Williams, the quarterback, that got the clip downfield.
They run the option to the left. Now watch 13. He fakes the ball to Johnson. He pitches the ball to number 21, Allen. Number 25, Sampson, misses the tackle. Now watch and see if it is number 13 in the right-hand side of your picture. He blocks downfield and gets a clipping penalty. Now watch number 13. He's down there.
Clipping on the offensive team. First down.
Was it closely?
I tell you what kind of athlete runs the option, gets down and blocks for a guy in a touchdown.
So that brings it back, and we've completed 3 quarters of play for Clemson. We'll keep it right here in Clemson as they'll bring it back to the 19-yard line. Time had run out in the third quarter.
But
the clock is all on zeros right now.
But you cannot go to the other quarter on a play that ends with a penalty.
Can't end the game on a penalty. You can't end the quarter. So the clock has no time on it. And 1st and 10 now. And they'll pitch it back to number 33. That's Joe Henderson. And he gets a couple. Now we will end the third quarter of play. And we'll be back with the final 15 minutes from Clemson right after this.
We're not a company, but no company has more pride in what they do, or more pride in how well they do it. We offer you a meaningful and fulfilling future, one that goes far beyond the ordinary, one that brings with it the respect and admiration of Americans everywhere. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Air Force, the Marines, the Army, the Navy. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
.177 horses give Comanche so much power, but it's the name Jeep that gives it so much pull.
Guess who has more of the year's top films, Showtime or HBO? Well, Showtime has Outrageous Fortune. HBO doesn't. Showtime has Stakeout. HBO doesn't. Showtime has Beverly Hills Cop 2, Tin Men, RoboCop. HBO doesn't. And only Showtime has exclusive rights to 4 of the year's top 5 hits. Showtime exclusives. Here you see them, there you don't.
What's all this about you selling the Market Street building? My client's still interested in that space.
We accepted Gail's offer this morning.
Hello, Jason.
You could have made a counteroffer.
If you had let me know what was going on, I would have.
But I called your office yesterday. I left you a message.
You left me a message?
Roger Twybo, Lee Corso with you in Clemson, South Carolina, where the Tigers lead the Blue Devils of Duke 35-17 as we get ready to start the fourth quarter here on Homecoming Saturday. And it's been a big afternoon for Clemson so far. They've got it right now, 2nd and 8. They pitch it back to Henderson, number 33. Henderson still on his feet. Henderson inside the 10 to the 8-yard line, and he's got enough for the first down. Wyatt Smith, number 22, over there to make the tackle for the Blue Devils of Duke. Now, we saw Terry Allen's touchdown brought back because the quarterback, Rodney Williams. Do you want your QB down there blocking, Lee?
I tell you what, I'll bet you right now that Danny Ford will not criticize him that, because anytime you get a quarterback that runs the option and goes down there and blocks, he's an outstanding athlete. But he'll say, next time, don't do it.
Did the defender turn his back, though? Was it a clip?
It looks like the man turned his back, and from the official standpoint, it was a clip.
They're going to bring the chains in now, as Danny Ford, who is very close to becoming the second coach in the ACC, the coach with the second most wins. He would surpass Bill Murray, the former Duke coach, and be in second place behind former Clemson coach Frank Howard.
Who this field's named after.
Right, Frank Howard Field. 3rd down. They've got just inches left.
Frank Howard served Clemson for 43 years, and is still here.
I saw him at halftime. And Williams will just sneak it, and he's got it. And a penalty marker is down on the far side. We have just begun the fourth quarter of play. Clemson jumped out to a 21-0 lead. Duke cut it to 21-14. Let's check out some other scores for you.
Offside, first down.
Penalty was against Duke. USC gets by Washington. Look at Georgia Tech over South Carolina. Auburn beat Akron. Michigan and Iowa tied up in the fourth quarter. And here it's 35-17 Clemson. Looking to take the top spot in the Atlantic Coast Conference early in the season, obviously.
If Clemson goes back to their past history, they'll either give the ball to the fullback or run that little option, triple option, on both sides or toss it. They go back to the basic plays because that's what they do better.
Tracy Johnson's the fullback, Henderson the tailback. First and goal from the 5-yard line. They pitch it back. Henderson. Touchdown, Clemson.
quarterback comes up, and he looks, and he counts the number. He's counting right now that there's one man less on the left side than there is on the right side. He options number 34, pitches it to the outside. Charles had no choice. Watch him. Keep your eye on number 34 of the white team right there. He had no idea what was going on. 25, Sampson can't get in there, and boom, Henderson scores.
Sile, the point after is good. And with 14:25 left to go, Clemson leads Duke 42-17.
Do you like to draw or paint? Or maybe just sketch or doodle? Well, if you do, chances are you have the interest needed to become a serious art student. And here's how you can find out. By simply calling toll-free, Art Instruction Schools will send you without cost or obligation this enjoyable art test. You take it at home, in your spare time, and when you've finished, you simply mail it in. Your test is then reviewed and graded by experts. So call toll-free today for your art test. And don't let the wonderful world of art pass you by. To get your free art test, call this toll-free number now. Don't delay. Call this number now. Call 1-800-544-1000. That's 1-800-544-1000.
The most powerful engine in its class. 4 doors. Room for 5. Full-time 4-wheel drive capability. Available 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. We've done our part in separating Jeep Cherokee from everything else. Now it's your turn.
ESPN is your ticket to the NFL when the Washington Redskins and Houston Oilers go head-to-head. Last year, the Redskins were second to none, and now are on the warpath to repeat their super season. All is well in Houston, where the Oilers hope to drill the Super Bowl champion. The Washington Redskins and Houston Oilers battle head-to-head when NFL Sunday Night Football returns, October 30th at 8 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Today's game is being brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by new Extra Strength Brute 33 antiperspirant deodorant. 9 plays, 69 yards, 4 minutes and 9 seconds, all runs, by the way. And the 5-yard touchdown run by Henderson. And Sile getting set to kick it off. 42-17, Clemson leading Duke. And talking with Danny Ford the other day, I don't know if he'd been getting some heat, but I think he needed a big win. And when I say a big win, he needed to put a lot of points on the board and put some distance between himself and an opponent. And that's what he has been doing with his team so far here today. Randy Jones will take it at the 5. And Jones is dragged out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Tyler Grimes on the special teams makes the tackle. And so Anthony Dilweg, who's in danger of not passing for 300 yards for the first time, he's got 211. He's got 14 minutes and 15 seconds to go. He can do it. He will be over. Okay. Lee Corso says that, and I trust him immensely.
The problem he has is not the passing yardage. It's those defensive linemen in orange who know he's going to do nothing but pass.
There's the score by quarters at 21-0 first quarter by Clemson. The big one. And they'll pitch it back. That's rather unusual. Randy Jones with the carry, and he's across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Gene Beasley makes a stop. Anthony Dilweg, who backed up Slayton. Steve Slayton, a pretty good quarterback for Duke last year. And we've talked about the 300-yard games. He has thrown for over 300 yards in every game he's ever started, and that is 6 consecutive games. Ben Bennett's got the Duke record of 8, and Jim McMahon, the NCAA record of 12 consecutive 300-plus games. So he's got some kind of streak going, if nothing else. If he can't get Clemson back into it, that's kind of something to hang your hat on. 2nd down and 7. Dilweg. Walter Jones was the intended receiver, and Dexter Davis on the coverage. And I don't know, Lee, you tell me, is there some confusion there on the part of the receivers or on the part of Dillwick?
What happened that time is that the defensive linemen were hitting Dillwick before he wanted to throw the ball. What happens is they got timing cuts. In other words, he goes back, he counts, and he throws to a spot. The Clemson linemen, who are all new freshmen now, are putting the pressure on him because they don't have to worry about the run.
3rd down and 7. This is typical Duke territory. They've completed better than 55% of their 3rd down conversions, and most of them from 7.5 yards or more. Dillwick, he's got his man. Oh, they were going to pitch it back. The ball's fumbled. The receiver over there was Jones, and that was the play that Don Shula and the Miami Dolphins used against San Diego a few years ago.
The old hook and ladder.
The old hook and ladder. I'm waiting for the new hook and ladder.
Dillwick will go back to his left, throw the ball, completes it for a 1st down. He wants to pitch it to number 40 to the outside Jones, but it can't get it off, and they don't have control of the ball, so it goes out. But what it cost them was the football.
Dexter Davis was the man that made the tackle that caused the fumble, and that punt is nearly fumbled by James Lott. He's able to get a handle on it and takes it back to the 43-yard line. So with 13:11 to go, Clemson leads Duke 42-17 from Clemson, South Carolina.
This long row of junkers is no match for the Ford Bigfoot. But here's a real test. In a regular Ford 4x4 drive over it carrying a Chevy and towing the 14,000-pound Bigfoot, the Ford starts clawing over the jagged metal with a Chevy on board and towing Bigfoot. Ford is the only pickup with 4 choices of multi-port fuel-injected engines to give you the power you want when you need it. Yes, the Ford triumphs over the twisted junkers in spite of its tremendous load. Ford, the best-built American trucks, 8 years running, built Ford tough.
I'm standing on this dark road to show the brilliance of Wagner halogen headlamps. Because Wagner halogens shine 40% farther down the road, I knew the driver of that car had plenty of time to see me. Now, my assistant will stand in front of a car that is equipped with regular headlamps.
Wagner halogens are the last headlights you'll ever buy. They're guaranteed for as long as you own your car.
At UPS, we're changing the look of the international delivery business. Because now, UPS delivers to every country in Western Europe, the Pacific Rim, Down Under, and Canada. And because we're so efficient, we can deliver your international parcels and documents for fewer francs, yen, or drachmas than other companies charge. An accomplishment we feel deserves a little flag waving. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
How hot can it get inside your car's engine? 570 degrees under extreme conditions. Take a leading motor oil. Take Mobil 1. Of course, Mobil 1 costs more. But under extreme conditions, when you see what can happen to conventional motor oil, it doesn't pay to play with fire. Mobil 1, isn't your car worth the extra protection?
Mobil 1 congratulates Emerson Fittipaldi and the Marlboro Racing Team for their back-to-back wins at Mid-Ohio and Road America.
And a reverse coming back to the near side for Clemson. That's 41, Doug Thomas. Thomas inside the 20. Thomas down to the 7-yard line. "47 yards on the reverse to Doug Thomas."
He tossed the ball. Now, keep your eye on number 41. He's coming back to his left. But number 70, Dewey gets a good block right here. Knocks everybody down. Number 76, Harmon gets a block. Number 60 is chugging down the field back. And there goes number 41, Thomas. He makes a good cut right here and goes right down the field. Nice little play because pursuit by Duke is really hard.
First and goal from the 6, and right up the gut, not much. Maybe it's poured on time for Clemson with 11:55 left to go in the 4th quarter. And along with Lee Corso, are you back there?
Yes,
Lee?
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
I don't want to block you.
No,
Get you on
okay.
camera here. Roger Twyville, Lee Corso with you, 42-17 in the 4th quarter. Danny Ford said they needed a big win, and they did just exactly what you said. They had to just go and knock people down and not worry about finesse.
And absolutely, that's exactly it. Get back to playing Clemson football, come out with enthusiasm. 21-0 at Barry Duke.
second down and goal from the 6-yard line. Morocco keeps it. Morocco dives down to the 2. Howell makes the stop for Duke, and Clemson getting ready to pound it in. Clock running, 11:12 left to go in this football game. This was something also that Danny Ford mentioned to us. We were talking about Rodney Williams, and we said, where do you go after that? What happens if he gets hurt? And he says, you know, I got to start getting this other kid some time. And that's exactly what he's doing. Handoff, and Wesley McFadden, the first man through, gets to the 1. And that'll bring up a 4th and goal.
Danny Ford does not call the offensive plays. Chuck Reedy, who coaches the coaches the running backs, calls the plays from the sideline. This will be his call right now.
Ricardo Hooper is checked in, and Chip Davis and Hooper will split to the far side. They'll split Jennings to the near side. And Terry Allen's in there with McFadden.
They won't throw the ball with 42-17. They'll run the option play.
Morocco pitches it to Allen. Touchdown, Clemson.
The option play on the goal line is the greatest play ever invented down the goal line. There comes the quarterback. He takes the fullback by one man, pitches it out, and Allen gets the touchdown. If the pros ever put the option on the goal line, they'd score every single time in the NFL when they got to the 5-yard line.
Sile, the point after, and it's good. And it's 49-17. With 10:06 to go, and you watch the pitch to Terry Allen for the TD.
A performance you won't forget. The new Ford Probe GT.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Millions of miles and millions of cars, more of them every year. They're riding on Kendall Motor Oil. That's what I hear.
Every year, more Americans discover the protection that only comes with the unique, pure quality of Kendall Motor Oil.
They're riding on Kendall Motor Oil, year after year.
Kendall, protection worth its weight in gold for more than 100 years.
Gillette has changed the face of shaving. First, we made it closer. Then we made it smoother. Atra Plus. Its Lubra Smooth Strip actually releases lubricants to glide the razor more smoothly. Incredible smoothness from the first stroke to the last. The Atra Plus system. First we made it closer, then we made it smoother.
There's something made for your wallet that's more powerful than money. Something that connects you to anyone, virtually anywhere in the world.
Bonjour, j'arrive à 10 heures.
From any phone in the U.S.,
Down the
24 hours a day. Something that not only saves you time, it saves you money.
Hi, John. Just got in. Where's the meeting?
Okay, fax it to my hotel.
The MCI card.
Yeah, we got the green light.
It is America's business card.
Big day for Terry Allen. It's been a good day for Joe Henderson. Allen, the leading rusher for Clemson and the leading rusher in the Atlantic Coast Conference, came into the game with 434 yards. So now he is up around the 560-yard mark. So big game for him as Duke will take it. Randy Jones cuts it back up and gets to the 30-31. Lee, let's go back to that hook and ladder play. What about that call?
The reason I said that it was a questionable call, it was 3rd down and 10. They needed to keep the football to keep the momentum going. What they did is they tried a special play on 3rd and 10. Probably, if he had to do it again, Spurrier would do that on 1st and 10. So if it didn't work, he'd at least have 2 more plays to get the first down.
New quarterback is in, Ken Hall, number 17, 6 feet 6 inches tall, 220-pound sophomore from Swarthmore, Pennsylvania. And this was a problem for Spurrier, too, because Hall has taken no snaps, and Zilwig passing as much as he does. Obviously getting slammed is 87. That's Brandon Jones makes the catch up in midfield. Richard Smith and Donnell Wolford in on the tackle.
By putting Hull in the game, he gets 2 good distinct advantages. One, he doesn't get Zilwig knocked out of the ball game because he's got some tough games the rest of the year, and he also gets Hull the toughest situation he's going to be in front of all these people away from home. Good experience with the quarterback.
49-17. 9 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this game. Clemson, South Carolina. Hall lays it out over the middle. And 33, Chris Brown, backup fullback, pulls it in. It's very close to the first down. Inside the 40 at the 39-yard line. Chuck O'Brien, 38. As Danny Ford getting to see a lot of his backup. You talked about homecoming, the importance of the big win. Ron Kirkland still down on the sideline. Obviously, Danny Ford needed to make a statement to the Atlantic Coast Conference. We forgot about Florida State. We're ready to go now.
The first game since Florida State that they played with a full heart and enthusiasm. But they're going through the motions.
2nd and 1. Jones still on his feet to the 35-yard line is Randy Jones, and he's got enough for the first down. Now it's important at this stage of the game, at 49-17, as you look at Zilwig and Hines. A great passing combination. And, folks, his streak of 300-yard games, I'm afraid, Lee, is all over.
And I was wrong. I was wrong. But I really believe that they could stop Clemson eventually. But I think Spurrier is doing an excellent thing here by putting Hall, number 17, in the game. I really do believe it's the best thing he could do right now.
1st and 10. Hall going deep. Penalty marker down. Dexter Davis nearly intercepted it. Ewell, the intended receiver, and there is holding against Duke. This will now move Clemson's record to 17-0-1 on homecoming dates, dating back to 1971. And Duke
holding on the offensive team, 10-yard previous spot foul.
Duke was a victim in 1986 and a victim in 84. And let's go to Tim Brando. Tim.
Roger, we'd like to welcome those of you that have been watching this game. One got away from Bo Schembechler. 3rd down and goal, less than 2 minutes to play. Tracy Williams stripped by number 66, Melvin Foster of the Hawkeyes. And Michigan and Iowa play to a 17-17 tie. Chuck Hartlieb obviously despondent after having to settle for the tie in that ball game. Hayden Fry's club and Bo Schembechler's ending a 17-all tie. Roger, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Tim.
That puts Indiana.
That's right, your team.
Indiana, Illinois. And they got Michigan plays Indiana at Ann Arbor next week. Could be a big ball game.
Duke has it now. 2nd and 20. And holding call, and while you're away, an incompleted pass. 8:18 left to go in the game. Ewell splits to the near side. Hall, big, tall quarterback. He kept pump faking and pump faking. He finally dropped the football, and he had to fall on it at the 47-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down.
Good pass protection. Anytime you see a quarterback like a Duke quarterback go back to pass and can't throw the ball like that, that's good protection in the secondary. That sack was caused by good coverage in the secondary.
I was talking about Duke being homecoming fodder. 84 was a loss, but they did tie in 76. That was the only blemish in a homecoming Saturday for Clemson dating back to 1971. Duke is faced with a 3rd and 23. And they took too much time once again. That's been a problem today for Duke.
Dead ball foul. The left game on the offensive team.
One thing Clemson does so well, they don't turn the football over, Lee. I think it's interesting to note that Clemson just 3 turnovers in their first 5 games. No interceptions in the Williams' 82 passing attempts this year. As a matter of fact, going back 104 consecutive pass attempts with no interceptions. So they don't hurt themselves. Duke's errors have really hurt them tonight. On 3rd and 28, Hall throws it downfield, and it's intercepted. 56 is there for Clemson, and that's Dorian Marable. He's a man who was a solid player for him last year, suffered some injuries in a car accident.
He was the most valuable player in the Citrus Bowl last year against Penn State. Number 56, Marable. This is a planned rollout. Number 17 will drop back, and now he'll roll to his left. This is planned, but number 56, Marable, slips right here between the receiver and makes a good catch. Turns the ball over, first down, Clemson.
You talked about the Citrus Bowl. This senior class has a chance to become the first class in Clemson history to go to a bowl game every year. They've been to the Independence, the Citrus, and the Gator. Clemson will take it 1st and 10. Running with the football there for Clemson, number 34, and that's Reggie Lawrence, a sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida. And a flag down on the play. The Atlantic Coast Conference is aligned with the Citrus Bowl. And the winner of the conference will go to the Citrus Bowl.
Unless,
and we were talking to Danny about this, national championships at stake.
Yeah, then either one of the two, the Citrus Bowl can say no to the Atlantic Coast Conference if they
holding on the offensive team, 10 yards from the spot. The big first down.
If the Citrus Bowl could put 1 and 2 against each other and not have an ACC team that could do that, or if Clemson had the chance, for instance, to play Notre Dame in one bowl for the national championship, they would not have to go to Orlando for the Citrus Bowl.
6:45 left to go, and the crowd of 83,500 starting to leave Frank Howard Field here. Clemson Stadium. Gorgeous Saturday afternoon for homecoming as Morocco is throwing it deep, and the pass intended on the far side for Doug Thomas, 41. Now, yeah, I mean, homecoming Saturday. You get 50 to appease the alumni? Is that the deal?
Looking at the misery index, I will add one more comment to that. Sitting on the sideline, Mr. Spurrier will not forget that call. 49-17, throwing the football, trying to get a big one. But that sometimes will happen. Maybe the quarterback called it himself, but that's not a real good play. And I've been in Mr. Spurrier's place, and you never forget those kind of calls.
2nd down and 20. And Morocco will hand it off. Once again, that's number 34, Reggie Lawrence, backup tailback, who's checked into the game. So this sets up a scenario for the Atlantic Coast Conference that Clemson is back where everybody expects them to be. On top of the conference with a 2-0 record. Duke's still very much alive. They came into this a 5-0 record. They hurt themselves. They turned it over. But another team in the ACC you got to look at is North Carolina State.
Absolutely. That's the game that Clemson's got to worry about right now at Raleigh. So
less than 6 minutes to go, and Morocco's going to throw it. They swing it out in the near side. Lawrence, the intended receiver, swinging out of the backfield. On the other side of the coin, though, Lee, you got a quarterback like Morocco that hasn't gotten to play that much. Can you understand at all?
No.
Maybe giving him a few throws?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Let him practice. Not take advantage.
I just thought I'd ask. Just thought I'd ask. Chris Gordacki had a good day punting the football. Right at his average of over 43 yards. It's the young man Quentin McCracken that gave us all the big thrill earlier with the 96-yard kickoff return. Beautiful, high, spiraling punt. And McCracken at the 25. And that's where he'll be stopped at. 46 yards on the punt. That's a good-looking freshman kicker right there for Clemson.
Clemson's got some great players, but let me tell you what, in 1981, when they won the national championship, 49 players off of that team was drafted and or played pro football.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Here it is. Virginia Tech, Furman, lost to Florida State. The first 3 games at home, then 1 on the road against Georgia Tech and Virginia. And now the home win against Steve Spurrier and his Duke Blue Devils. Ken Hall, the quarterback, with 5:35 to go, down the middle. And They say, no, it's not complete. Gerald Clemens, number 4, was the intended receiver. Let's check out the rest of the Clemson schedule for you. What's happening with the ACC? They're at Wake Forest, and then they're at North Carolina State. As Lee said, that'll be a big one. North Carolina at home, at Maryland, and then they finish up with the game of all games, South Carolina.
But does not determine the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship.
No, but it determines a lot about who's going to talk to each other from next year, or who's going to brag the most. Second down and 10. Draw play up the middle. Randy Cuthbert. He's a freshman running back from Chalfont, Pennsylvania, 6'3" and 195 and 21 yards on the pickup before David Davis makes a tackle.
Number 42 runs a sprint draw play right here. Good blocking on the right side there by number 58 Hayes. Number 55 Worley, and he runs straight through. Cuthbert does for a good first down.
Clock running, 5:10 left to go. First and 10 for Duke at the 49-yard line. Once again, Cuthbert still on his feet, and he's down to about the 46. Gain of about 4 yards on the play. Cuthbert 6'3" and 195. All of these Duke players are true freshmen. A lot of the freshmen we talked about with Clemson are redshirt freshmen, with the exception of Davis, the kid in the secondary.
Duke happens to believe that you're in a 4-year program similar to Notre Dame we had last week, and it's a set schedule. But they might change their mind after getting whipped a couple of times by Clemson.
That's other people. It's already been done. The wheels are in working order to get that situation rectified. Cuthbert with the reception at the 41, very close to the first down. Let's go to Tim Brandon. Tim?
Roger, it's all over, and it wasn't a bad day for another Heisman frontrunner. Troy Aikman, the key today, and a UCLA Bruin victory. This touchdown pass to Reggie Moore against Cal in Berkeley virtually put this one on ice. 38-21, the second best passing day ever for the Heisman hopeful. Let's get back to Death Valley.
Okay, thanks, Tim. I don't know. I think UCLA could play in the NFL right now, the way they're going. As Hull dies for the first down.
It's going to be interesting to see who number 1 is.
Isn't it?
I still feel like there's a possibility. I know Bino Cook doesn't believe this. There's a possibility that UCLA and or Notre Dame could go undefeated and end up with a dual championship for the first time.
Putting the heat on the Duke quarterback. Lee, you talked about this. A couple of sacks, no passes blocked, 21 hurries, 3 interceptions, 13 knockdowns.
I like to call them 28 scares.
Less than 4 minutes to go. Duke with first and 10. Hall throws it across the middle, and he finds number 84, and that's Andy Anderson, a sophomore tight end from Yardley, Pennsylvania. Rusty Sharpia was the man that came up and made the tackle. 83,500 on homecoming Saturday here at Clemson, South Carolina. And coming up next will be Syracuse and Penn State.
First and 10, Davis to 28.
First down and 10. Hall gets away from one tackle. And they're getting set for the kickoff up there at Penn State. Jesse Hatcher, the man defending. 3:08 left to go.
I think there's some bad blood at Syracuse since Penn State is dropping them off the schedule.
I think it probably is.
It's a great game to watch.
We'll be doing it. We can get out of this traffic jam. Danny Ford, just another victory. He's on his way to becoming one of the winningest coaches ever in the history of college football. Hall will go deep in the end zone. Ewell's there, just off his fingertips.
I like this Hull number 17. He's got a nice presence, 6'6". He makes a little bit of pump fake. As Ewell comes down, he will turn, fake, and then go past, and he runs right by number 14, and he's almost catches the football. But I like the presence of Hull. Steve Spurrier is an outstanding football coach. He knows exactly how to win a championship, and he will be a factor at Duke.
Third down and 10. That was Tony Monty, the freshman, who made the freshman, took the freshman fake back there. Trying to go down the middle, and it's intercepted. 39 for Clemson is Arlington Nunn. And with 2:52 to go, Clemson will have it one more time.
Calls, a tape of 7 different songs and funny recordings for answering machines.
I am very sorry that I'm not at home to take your call.
Only $14.95.
When I will get right back to you. Leave your message at the tone.
Give someone the gift of gab for their answering machine.
Calling a friend. What you've actually done is bought a one-way ticket to the answering machine zone.
Nobody's home. Nobody's home. I'm glad you called, but I'm not home. But I'll be back before too long.
Crazy Calls, a tape of 7 different songs and funny recordings for only $14.95.
Wait for the beat. You gotta leave your name. You gotta leave your number.
To order?
Wait for the beat.
Call 1-800-554-9000. Call 1-800-554-9000.
When it comes to owner loyalty, every domestic and import car division takes a backseat to Ford. Because Ford owners in households all over America have proven their loyalty to Ford by buying another Ford.
Winning the world over. Have you been behind the wheel? Winning the world over. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Dear Rayovac, I've had a battery-operated back scratcher in the drawer for 18 years. We had 2 Rayovac batteries in it. I turned it on, and lo and behold, they were still good. We were really surprised, and so was everyone else. No one believed it until we showed them that they still worked. How's that for good batteries? Sincerely, Mrs. Margaret Bronert, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Rayovac, batteries that turn people on.
ESPN is your ticket to the NFL when the Washington Redskins and Houston Oilers go head-to-head. Last year, the Redskins were second to none, and now are on the warpath to repeat their super season. All is well in Houston, where the Oilers hope to drill the Super Bowl champion. The Washington Redskins and Houston Oilers battle head-to-head when NFL Sunday Night Football returns, October 30th at 8 Eastern, live on ESPN.
And Clemson now with 23 seconds left to go. Second down and 9. Deshaun Cameron, the quarterback, and he hands it off inside number 35, one of the backup tailbacks. That's Tony Kennedy, a freshman from Elizabeth, New Jersey, as Cameron looks like a fine young quarterback. He threw the touchdown pass earlier in the game off the pitchback from Williams.
Both Cameron and the fullback Kennedy, or the tailback Kennedy, both look like outstanding prospects, both young players. You know, great programs like Clemson don't rebuild, they just reload.
– 14 seconds left to go as Clemson leads at 49-17. And once again, that's Reggie Lawrence. And the clock will just run down now. And the Clemson Tigers have made it another happy homecoming as the clock has been stopped with 6 seconds. Fumble on that play, and Duke did recover it. So with 6 seconds left, Duke will be able to run one play. So one last play for Duke. And they'll just run it right up the middle. Chris Brown. And that'll end it. Clemson defeats Duke 49-17.